Did you tweet out at all?
No. Let's do it now. 17 seconds. You get the book ready? Oh, the sound is just on.
Oh. He came like the wind that touched everything, and like the wind was gone. From the dragon reborn by Loyal, son of Arent, son of Hallen, the fourth age. The end of the last book of The Wheel of Time.
We did it. We did it. We did it. Hey, we did it. We. I love that our audio was on for that, so enjoy me saying that I need to go pee. What's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
And this is the Nerdy.
The Wordy.
The book club.
What?
Oh, how did that catch you by surprise?
Because we do it only once a week, and
we're 2 years into this shit.
Yeah, but you started doing that like 2 months ago.
No, the Nerdy the Wordy the book club was like last summer.
No, it was not.
Yeah, it was. You have lipstick on your teeth.
Cute.
Disgusting.
Arzu, welcome back.
Arzu, thank you for being a member for 9 months.
Hell yeah, we did it. We made it.
We did it. That's right. We have finished the Wheel of Time. I wore this shirt ironically because now I am the dark friends, motherfuckers. Now I am the spoiler.
The thing is, you wore green and you made the light green, and so it's like.
I think I look great.
You do. You know.
I think I look delicious. Although I've lost like almost about 25 pounds ish.
Yeah.
And this shirt is so big on me now. This is going to become like solely a sleeping shirt because it does not fit.
Yeah, we'll just get you a new one.
What's up, chat? Thank you to everyone who's here live. I really appreciate you being here for what I think will be a very conversation about the Wheel of Time.
It will be a very conversation.
Very conversation about the Wheel of Time. I'm excited to get into the end, but before we do that, there is some housekeeping at the top of the show. Housekeeping, yes.
What?
This podcast
we keep house.
about the end of the Wheel of Time is brought to you by Misty Mountain Gaming. Misty Mountain Gaming is a dice and D&D accoutrement company. They make the finest of materials for you to play the TTRPGs, or as I call them, titty RPGs, They also make wonderful leather goods to carry that accoutrement to and from your games. If you want to be playing the titty RPGs, you have to go to Misty Mountain Gaming. And their logo, it's two mountains. It's like titties. It all comes back to boobs with me. I'm so sorry, Misty Mountain. I am slowly turning into Robert Jordan the more I read his writing. I am folding my arms under my Misty Mountain Gaming dice, which you can get at mistymountaingaming.com for 15% off using the code nerdynightly15.
Hell yeah.
That's right. You can roll dice that are much better than the dice you currently have, unless you already have Misty Mountain Gaming dice.
Yeah, and in which case, good for you. You did it. Now order some more with our code. Thank you.
Yeah, be a dice goblin. Do it. In addition to rolling dice, we have some, every once in a while, we go to our P.O. box, and we pick up some wonderful gifts from the community. And so we have some dice-related gifts. I believe this one is meant to be yours.
Yes.
And this one is mine. We have some custom 3D printed dice towers.
Hell yeah.
From Lay of the Land 3D. Mine is like a cyberpunk Cthulhu.
Yep.
And you have a unicorn.
And I have a unicorn. Look, it's so pretty.
Lay of the Land. Thank you so much for these.
Yeah.
They're so sweet.
Thank you. These are fantastic.
Yeah.
They'll,
incredible.
They'll look very nice with all of our D&D shelf because we've got like a whole D&D shrine. It's very fun.
Yeah, if you want to send us shit, the P.O. box is below. But Lay of the Land 3D, thank you so much for these. We will use them in the Relay 2, which is coming up November 25th. Y'all, we're raising money for the families of kids who have cancer. So come donate and watch us kill Santa Claus for children.
Yeah.
That's the pitch. You still, you got like a real strong.
Where?
Right there.
Okay.
It's on this tooth.
Did I get it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
In addition to that, we got another gift. This one felt very appropriate for the end of the Wheel of Time. Clarice, do you want to talk about what's on your chair?
Yeah, we got our very own shawl here. You're gonna have to let me out. Because I'm gonna have to show it.
You're also wearing green. I love that we're all wearing green.
I know, I didn't mean to. Guys, I get to be a nice day.
That is right. It came with a beautiful letter. And so, Manny, we just want to say, Manny, thank you so much for knitting this beautiful gray Aja.
It might be crochet.
Or crochet. I don't know the difference. I said shawl for Clarus.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It's so beautiful. Yeah, just what a really like special gift to receive in the mail. Thank you.
Totally handmade. It's very cool. Thank you. For reals.
Yeah.
That it means a lot.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. All right. It's the end. It's the final book.
The final countdown.
Clarus, we read this a week ago.
We did.
About a week ago. Do you remember it?
Yeah, because I re-listened to it again last night.
That's fair.
Yeah, most of it anyways. I didn't make it quite to the end, but I was like, I remember. It's fine.
All right. Should we dive into the chapter? How do you want to do this today?
How do we want to do this?
It feels weird because it's the last one.
Well, it's not the last book club, but it is the last,
it's the
chapter
last
section.
midnight.
So it's like, it's weird.
It does feel weird.
Feel.
We started this journey truly in July of 2021, right? When we first watched the trailer.
For the trailer. I was like,
and
what?
some of the people in the chat saw that trailer reaction and told us to not read the books and watch the show. And then we watched the show and they were like, okay, now read the books.
Yeah.
And so literally the Friday after the show ended, season 1 of the show ended, we were live at 11 a.m. as we had been for a few weeks at that point.
Yeah.
Talking about the Wheel of Time. And that was almost 2 years ago.
I know.
And here we are sitting on the final chapters, and it's so strange because I've never read something where the ending had so much weight in my job.
Yeah.
And so there's this weird element of it's become such a huge part of our life and work life. And that there was a lot of pressure on this.
Yeah.
Brian,
wow.
What the fuck? I want to thank you guys for all the amazing content you've given us and started doing the Nerdy Wordy Book Club. No, thank you, Brian. God damn. Wheel of Time is known for the never-ending rereads, but I'll definitely be rewatching these as well. You both are so fun, thoughtful, and absolutely married. Go Taishar Canada! I need that shirt. I want a Taishar Canada shirt.
Brian, that's a good one. Wow,
wow.
Thank you so much.
Brian, thank you so much. That's unbelievable.
Very, very super chat. Very super
chat. Holy fuck.
Damn, guys.
Well, we made our money for the day, so we're done. Thank you so much for being here. This was great, guys. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you for the full book recap.
Yeah. See you guys next Friday. Kenny, welcome back to the Nerd Table. The Ken Ultimate episode Kenny lives.
The Ken Ultimate.
The Ken Ultimate episode.
Wait, I might like that more than Pen Ultimate.
Oh, no.
But is my Ken Ultimate
Kenny,
episode Ken up?
What have you done?
We're joking about for Relay 2, we've said that like if we hit like a certain charity donation goal to Cap for Kids, I'll get a tattoo. And mine was that I was going to get the like Avril Leviathan design.
Yeah,
the
from
like
the Relay.
undead mermaid.
Yeah,
Be...
and then I was like, okay, but hear me out. What if you got a tattoo that says, I am Kenneth?
And I was like,
you were like, I don't hate that, actually.
I don't hate it. I can't get it till the strike is over, but as soon as the strike is over, I don't know. Y'all, should we do like a poll on what tattoo I'll get if we hit like... I want it to be a big goal, because we have a lot of people involved. It's going to be a big event. But...
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
It's like Kids for Cancer. We want to help some people out.
I want to raise some money. Let's go. All
right. Should we talk about the chapter? Should we just get into it?
Wow. Brian, thank you. Thank you for real.
Brian, that's unreal. Yeah. Truly unreal. I
what
have no
a journey.
Words. I have no words, so let's talk about a shit ton of words.
Yes, very many words.
A Memory of Light. Chapter 40.
So weird.
Wolf Brother. Do you know who's not in this chapter called Wolf Brother?
Perrin.
Perrin.
It's because Elias is in it.
I know. I just like,
There's more
I got
than
to the end of the
one
chapter
Wolf
and I
Brother.
was like, this is weird. Matt Turk says, what's going on with Nerdy's peeps?
What's going on, Nerdy?
Oh, what's...
It's okay. You know what? It's okay. Don't worry about it.
I'm so fucking dyslexic.
Match
I can't read.
Kuna, Fabu, Blues. Good to see you guys. Thank you, mods. We appreciate you.
We have a book club.
Yeah.
And I cannot read.
I know. I am well aware.
What?
And they are too.
This is so funny.
They also know.
Oh my
so don't worry about it. It's all good. It's totally fine.
All
don't
right.
worry about it.
So, we start with this week, following the last battle. Not really. We're still in the middle of the last battle.
Yeah, the last battle chapter ends, but like the last battle does not end.
Yeah. And it really doesn't, like, it's just kind of, the book is just the last battle.
Pretty much.
Because there's nothing after.
Yeah.
We will get to that. That's a spoiler. Sorry. With Elaine, she's chilling a little bit because she's like, hey, I'm not being violently ripped open at the stomach, so that's great.
Hey,
Thanks, Brigitte.
yes, that's awesome. Brigitte, you the realist.
So Elaine is like, all right, let's go fight. And Brigitte's like, what the fuck? This woman is driving me crazy. And I disagree with Brigitte here. I fucking agree with Elaine. Elaine is like, what am I gonna do? Lie here and watch the world end? No, let's go fight.
Yeah.
I got babes in the belly, and I gotta go rally the troops. They gotta know that the Queen of Andor lives. And she's like, I don't care if Demand Dread shoots balefire at me. I'm throwing my fucking banner in the sky.
Hell
and,
yeah.
And we're rallying these lines together. I loved it. This was a great way to start the reading this week. I was like, fuck yeah, Elaine.
Yeah.
This is the shit right here.
Elaine is awesome. Like, we've had our ups and downs with her, but like, she does know what she's doing like 99% of the time. Mm-hmm. Mike, thank you so much for that super chat. I was so frustrated on my first read with the taking the action right up to the end. I wanted long Lord of the Rings would happen after section. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
We will.
Thank you for that super chat. Robert Harrington, thank you as well for that super chat. Thank you for book club. I'm still on Crown of Swords, but I've been listening to the VOD as I go through each section. See you when I catch up. See you at the end.
See you at the end, Robert Harrington. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Yes,
the super chats have a different look.
Yeah. It looks like they've been updated, like a YouTube updated.
I like the this is so dumb because it doesn't matter, but I like the new way chat looks on the mod end.
Yeah.
Thank you, YouTube.
Yes. Appreciate it.
Someone brought up the joke where Birgitte's like, I refuse to stay dead.
Oh no, Brigitte's like, you're so stubborn, and Elaine is like, you're the one that refused to stay dead.
It's a great joke.
It's a good joke. Okay.
Also, Brigitte has her memories back.
She does have her memories back. It's amazing. She's like, nah, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. How do you feel about Elaine and Egwene's very different reactions to their warders dying?
What do you mean?
Well, they talk about the like pain of the absence of the warder bond being completely irrational and overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
And Egwene gets completely overwhelmed.
Yes.
And Elaine is like totally fine.
I don't believe that she's totally fine until Brigitte comes back. And I think that the pain of her warder, of losing her warder, is nothing to her in that moment in comparison to the motherly, my babies are in danger adrenaline, right? And I read that as like, yes, my warder just died. Mm-hmm. That is not in any way the most damning thing going on in this moment. Mm-hmm. They're talking about ripping my babies out of my stomach and taking them away to their death.
Yeah.
And everything I know about mothers, and every time I've ever seen a mom have their child in danger, I don't think that there is a bond on earth that you could shatter that would overpower that feeling of motherly protectiveness.
Okay, I agree with you.
And then I think that
there.
when Brigitte comes back, it lessens her pain quite a bit.
Because she says there is like a one-off line that says that's like the warder bond still hurts because it's like an irrational thing, even though she can see Brigitte in front of her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so it just was like, it was the way that like the warder bond was like described, even for Aes Sedai who have warders who like they don't love, they don't have like a relationship with, they're still like incapacitated by the literal pain of the bond vanishing. And so I just I wish that we had a moment like obviously like after like Malar is like taken care of, but like Egwene doesn't really get a second to grieve for Brigitte, and even though she knows it's irrational,
nobody grieves anyone in the end of this book. So
yeah,
like,
no, that's fair. That's
like
fair.
There's no grief past this point. There is no grief, right?
Yeah.
We kind of get into this weird end where all of the previous emotional elements of this series are foregone for the ending of the series outside of Perrin and Fael, right? And
Fair.
So they just, everything from here on is just sort of like what has to happen.
Fair, yeah.
And Elaine losing the warder bond is not brought up. And she does not become irrational. And I agree with that. I think that like in the epilogue, she should be a fucking train wreck of a human because Brigitte is dead.
Yeah.
But in this moment, Brigitte kind of isn't because she's there.
Yeah.
I think that I was hoping that Elaine was going to start feeling the warder bond go away when the Hunters of the Horn left again.
Gotcha.
Unless the implication is that Elaine's warder bond with Brigitte never really dies because the Hunters of the Horn are always there in Talra and Riyadh.
Well, but she says that she can feel Brigitte's death even though she can see her in front of her. Right,
but maybe it's lessened because Brigitte isn't actually like spun out of the pattern and back in, but she's just like on the edge of, you know what I mean? Like maybe hers, because she's bonded to someone who is never really gone. Because Brigitte is always in Talra and Riyadh waiting.
Interesting.
She's like, I half lost her warder.
Yeah.
Kind of like how like Hopper was dead but not really dead.
Okay.
In the World of Dreams.
Okay. Until he actually died.
Let's get through some. Did we read this one?
We read those two.
Okay.
Yep.
Dale Hendrickson.
Dale, thank you so much.
Thank you for that super chat. Donation for Nerdy's reading tutor.
Thank you. I'll take that.
Lol. Yeah. Fabamoose, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you.
Let's help teach Nerdy how to read. Literacy awareness. Nerdy is Kenna.
Nerdy is Kenna.
I can read. I'm just dyslexic. It just takes me a little bit longer. Okay.
It's fine. You know I love you.
Fucks.
Also, you know, it's, well, I was going to say, actually, you prefer white text on black, but that's what the chat is, so, never mind. Sorry.
I do prefer white text on black. Actually, part of the reason why I
dark mode!
That's why I like dark mode on so many things is because I find, in my dyslexia, I find it easier to read white on black rather than read black text on white screen. Black text on white screen just sort of, like, starts to mush together after, like, 3 paragraphs for me. Whereas the white text on black screen, it keeps its shape. Yeah. Which probably sounds fucking crazy, but that's just how I eventually, like, my brain just starts to see, like, the lines mush together.
Yeah. It's weird. Not. Yeah, honestly, white text on black is... I'm not dyslexic, but it's just easier to read, for sure.
Daniel Klauser has a really interesting point here. It might just not be as bad to lose a same-sex warder.
Oh, that sucks.
Well, but it's never... Like, that is never really established, right? Because she's the first one to do it. Until Egwene, obviously. But Egwene doesn't lose Leowyn. They unbond right before she dies.
Yeah.
So it really is an interesting... Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a weird one. I don't know.
It's possible. We'll never know.
Yeah, we will.
I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know.
We cut over to... they go into the battle, and we cut over to Avienda, who is now alone on the battlefield. And Elias runs by, and she's like, "What's up, wolf brother?"
Hey, wolf brother, I see your eyeballs.
And Grendel's there. And Grendel is ahead of her with a bunch of Aes Sedai and Wise Ones and some big beefy boys. She's got them big beefy boys with her.
Yeah.
And it's very sad. And Grendel attacks. And she sends the blue sparklies into the air to say, "Hey, bitches, we ride at dawn, motherfuckers. Can't sway to me, we fucking ride." That she backs off until they get there. Because Grendel is fucking scary as fuck.
Yeah.
Apparently, Grendel, incredible fighter.
Yeah.
Grendel is really fucking good at this.
She's really good at slicing weaves.
Yeah.
And also, the Dark Hounds are fucking everybody up. The Dark one should have used the Dark Hounds at first, because, like, no one can do shit to them.
And we're going to get into this a couple of times.
Yeah.
Both sides of this battlefield saved some of their trump cards for way too late. Like, the humans were losing way earlier. And they were, like, the whole, we're going to have cannons that can shoot from anywhere because of waygates. I understand that they're like, we're going to save that for when it looks really bad. No, they could have started using that way earlier in the fight.
They saved it because Matt was deliberately trying to look like they were losing. That was, like, the game of it.
Yeah, but he waited too long. And the only reason they didn't completely collapse was because the horn was blown. But if the horn hadn't been blown, it was too late, right? And so it was that weird sort of...
They had to fix them, though, right? That's why they took them into the cave, because they had to repair them to then be able to, like, use them.
But why... And I guess, like, having them out in the beginning lets the opponent think that they're destroyed, maybe?
Yeah, because they think that they've gotten that, like, piece off of the battlefield.
It felt a little bit late.
Bring it back.
It felt like Matt called for it a little late. The Sanchin return was a little too late.
Okay.
And I think that this is shown, right? Like, I think it's shown in the fact that, like, had the Sanchin showed up just a couple seconds later, or if the Heroes of the Horn hadn't come and kind of rallied them, the Sanchin would have shown up to a massacre, right?
Yeah, well...
And the only thing that saved them was that Lan killed Demandred, but without that, the all of those steps came in just a couple moments too late, really. Yeah. And it paid off, ultimately. But I think that if you were like had the NFL tapes and you're sitting down on Monday morning looking at the Sunday game and you're like, all right, what are we doing differently next time? I think that you would bring those in a little bit sooner, not a lot sooner.
Yeah.
But kind of just before those lines started to really break down. I think that you introduced that, or you start attacking Demandred with the cannons from the hilltop.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they didn't, like, think of the strategy until after the cannons had, like, broken.
No, this was a plan the whole time. The shooting through the waygates? That was a plan. That was the plan from before the fight started.
How do you know?
Because they were prepared to do it. They knew what they were going to be doing. They had a whole system in place to do this.
I just felt
they had the location. They had the whole, like, we're gonna, like, open waygates above us every few minutes to, like, let the steam out. Like, they had planned this out. There was a
that
strategy.
Could have been done in the moment. That could have been like, fuck, we gotta fix these things, and we can't get them broken again. How do we do that?
No, that was a deliberate strategy. There was never a conversation of like, oh, we have to take them back out on the field and someone being like, wait, I have an idea. They like knew that this was what was going to happen.
Well, we definitely did not get those conversations. That's for sure. Yeah. No, Grendel is a bam.
She's scary. It's fun.
Yeah. She's like actually like fucking shit up.
Yeah.
And so we'll get to that. We go back to Elaine.
Yeah.
Who decides to fight a Trolloc with a sword after thinking what a silly idea that is. So that she gets all the men
Not
to
a
come.
silly idea. Not a silly idea. She knows exactly why she's doing it.
No, I know.
She knows she's going to be bad at it.
In her head, she was like, why would I actually use this sword? That's so silly. And then she uses it.
I think that her being like, how embarrassed would you be to not be swinging your sword while your queen is swinging a sword is the most
great.
like, I know the patriarchy exists that these books have ever gotten.
Yeah, but there's no patriarchy in these.
But there so is. Like, this is the most, like, I'm going to take advantage of toxic masculinity for this moment in a world that isn't supposed to have that, but definitely does.
Oh, definitely.
In order to, like, convince men to fight by embarrassing them by fighting myself.
Yeah.
I think Elaine
They're
gets
like, that pregnant lady is swinging a sword and I'm running away.
Yeah, and it fucking works.
I don't know. I guess that's, like, it does feel, like, slightly patriarchal, but, like, if I was a soldier on a battlefield and I saw that, like, I would still be like, oh, fuck. I look like a fucking shit right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. This was very funny. I think that Elaine gets a lot of my favorite stuff in the end of the books here.
Yeah.
I think that her, across the last battle and this, I think that her kind of, and it goes back to kind of my at the beginning of this book being like, why are you giving Elaine this like larger role?
Mm-hmm.
She's 19, let her be the Queen of Andor. And all of my favorite stuff of Elaine in this book is when she is being the Queen of Andor, right?
Yes.
When she is like, when she's doing her job, she does it really well. It's the thing she's trained to be. And I'm glad that she didn't get caught up too much in that role that they gave her and that they allowed her to kind of be acting with the people that she cares about and wants to be interacting with.
Yeah.
Because so much of these last books is, unfortunately, in my opinion, people interacting with people they don't really care about. And a lot of the relationship elements of the Wheel of Time are kind of lost in that.
Yeah.
You have a lot of people just kind of next to the person they happen to be next to.
Yes.
And I think that putting Elaine here in the midst of the Andorans and being the Queen of Andor, surrounded by her people, leading them, and having her interactions with Brigitte, I think that she gets a lot of great stuff because of that.
Yeah.
And it really shows in her character, like, what she believes and who she is. And I agree, like, her having the very convenient lack of a warder bond problem is convenient, but there's going to be a lot of convenience in the end of this book.
Yeah.
So we kind of just have to, like, accept it for what it is.
Yeah.
And accept and try and view the, like, gem of Elaine through the rough of some of the other stuff that happens here.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Blue, thank you for 10 gifted memberships.
Blue, thank you.
Mad lad in the chat over here. It's guys, all green
it's Blue
screen.
the unicorn. He's here.
This is Blue.
Should we name this Blue?
Only if Blue approves.
Blue, can we name our unicorn Blue in memory of you?
In memory.
Yeah, Blue died in the last battle. He's riding in as a hero of the Horn
he's
here.
He's a Knoll, actually. Guys, Blue is Jane
canonically is
Farsighter.
First Rider.
Yeah, canonically.
Blue is Jane Farsighter.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
That's so funny.
Thank you, Blue. I appreciate that.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
And Bryce says, you can also say that Elaine has been brought up to smother her own pain for the good of her people and trained to better compartmentalize than Egwene.
I mean, Egwene got spanked for 6 months.
I disagree with that because that's what all the Aes Sedai are trained to do. That's
True.
Everyone who has passed that test. And I think
it's don't feel.
Yeah, and it's kind of the weird thing about the Warder Bond.
Don't feel.
Is that it is a magical pain above what they go through in that 100 Weaves test.
Yeah, because
so
it's
how
magic.
bad is it?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, it just feels different because it's magic. And Elaine, acknowledges that it is irrational. And so it is just one of those interesting, open-ended things that I'm curious about.
I love this. Blue 2021 to 2023. Did you think that Blue was, born the day this podcast started?
Blue was born through book club.
Blue was actually ripped out of Tel'aran'rhiod on the day that this podcast started.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. And then we bonded him as a book club warder and made him a mod.
And then he died and came back as a hero of the Horn. This works.
Yeah. 1,000%.
You are our Brigitte, Blue.
I love it.
We cut over to Matt, who is trying to push the enemy off the heights.
Mm-hmm. The heights he gave up.
Which is hilarious, because I kept thinking of Hamilton.
Oh. I thought you were going to say In the Heights.
No. Although same writer.
I know.
Because of the whole, like, we abandoned, like, of Washington's retreat and then attempt to retake New York. It's yeah.
Sure.
And there's cannons. And so, like, when
goes the cannons.
Bunch of blood in your shit spray. Kaboom. Like, I was literally reading this book, and they were like, and the portal opens, and I know that Talmains is singing in there while they're doing it. And so I just picture, like, the Sharan army, they're, like, whipping. Yeah, and the like, portal opens above them, and all the Sharans, the last thing they hear as they look up at their death is, kaboom goes the cannon, watch your blood and your shit spray. Kaboom goes the cannons, we're abandoned in Pavlov Heights.
That needs to be your Wheel Time Idol submission. Because that would be hilarious.
If I rewrite all of that song to be the last battle.
Yes. You deserve an award for that.
I would need all of Hamilton to do the last battle.
Yes. Absolutely.
Oh my god. Guillermo Barros, thank you so much for that super duper chat.
Thank you.
Late to the party and unable to stay.
That happens. It's
what
all
are you doing on a Friday morning during work hours?
How dare.
Just want to say, wish a great book club and congratulate both of you, lovely people, for this amazing series. Thank you very much for this journey, and I hope to be able to catch the final one next week.
Yes, next week.
I think that questions channel, I think I emptied it, so wait, let me check that.
I haven't gone through that yet. We're going to open up the questions channel.
Yes, the questions channel is open, I think.
Oh, okay.
How do you open it?
Go to permissions.
Permissions.
Yep. Not private. There we go. Escape. Save changes. Y'all.
All right. The question channel is open for next week.
Open.
It is full series. You can ask about anything that you want. There's no limits. It's probably going to be a long book club next week.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to talk about Wheel of Time again until probably after the strike and stuff. So
yeah, because we do want to also do so we are opening this up to full series, but keep in mind we will probably do a full series recap again, like in December, because we're gonna be home. We still want to make Wheel of Time content. It'll give us some time to really digest the books and this crazy journey that we've been through.
Yeah, we want to do some tier lists. I want to play the video game.
Yeah. Someone also said that there's a which character are you test, and I really want to take that.
I'm gonna get like Dosine or somebody and be like, I don't know who that is.
Right. Now, please keep in mind, we have not seen season 2 of the show yet.
Yeah, no season 2 spoilers yet.
No season 2 spoilers. Those will be deleted.
But we will, once the strike is over.
We'll talk about that later.
We're going to do a full season 2 live stream after the strike. We don't know when that's going to be yet.
Right.
But
we don't know when the strike ends.
The WJ got their deal. Let's go WGA. Proud of you. Love you.
Yes.
Adore you. Please know how much I love you and how grateful I am to all the work that you do, because you're wonderful, beautiful, gorgeous people.
Yeah.
And as a SAG member, I need you. And the AMPTP and SAG are meeting on Monday.
Yeah.
They have finally scheduled meetings. So they're going to start negotiating. There is a chance, because when the AMPTP sat down and were actually serious about this, it took 5 days. Yeah. There is a chance that on Friday of next week, we'll be talking about a deal. Yeah. There's a chance that I will no longer be on strike Friday of next week. Sooner, maybe.
A chance.
I'm not holding out too much hope, because I'm just waiting for them to try and fuck us one more time. Yeah. But there is a chance that on book club next Friday, I might not be on strike anymore, and we might be able to talk about the show, but we won't have seen it yet. So that's crazy.
Yeah. Wild.
Y'all. There's a chance. Mm-hmm. And then, I have thoughts. I got season 1 thoughts I want to talk about. There's patrons, you know what's up, but like the rest of you, we're gonna be talking. Yeah, the patrons. We're gonna be doing live streams, okay?
Yeah, we're like the Wheel of Time content is not over. We will do a lot more stuff over the next coming weeks, and especially when we're back from our travels. And you better behave yourselves in the Discord spoiler chat now, because we are loud in there. We've read all the books, so. Mr.
Jambot says, I really hope you guys pick up the Expanse again. What makes you think we ever stopped?
We did not stop.
Just wait for the strike to end. Or join the Patreon. Matt is... Matt is happy that the he sees the Sanchin again. He's like, hey, you're back. And now we have the Tarlik start firing through the gateways. It's really cool.
A sigh of relief.
Yeah. And then he's like, there's just one more thing that needs to happen. What's the one more thing that needs to happen?
The river.
That's right. We cut up to Jur Grady, who's just chilling. This was this was one of the like, this is one of the best things in the Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
This is one of this moment, y'all, is one of the like, what the fuck is happening? Oh my god. Oh fuck. I wish this had been the chapter we reacted to, because my joy at figuring out what was happening here was fucking unreal. I was through the roof here.
Because Grady's like, wow, everyone thinks Matt's such a good commander, but he just is like letting people die. He's like, ugh. Man, I'm gonna have some fucking words with Matt when this is over.
Well, and he was like, it's specifically these like 100 people and a few members of the band. And I was like, what a weird assortment.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck those people?
Yeah.
That makes no goddamn sense.
Yeah. A bunch of village people.
And I didn't put together, he's like,
what was
open the gateway at dawn.
That they're from?
Oh my god. And then as soon as the people...
At dawn on the 5th day.
Yeah.
Yeah. The village of Hinderstap comes to fuck up the Dark One.
Okay, I have a question.
Spit in Sight Blinder's eye.
I have a question for you. Do you think that Hinderstap goes back to normal after the Dark One is dead? Or is
the
this
Dark One
their life?
doesn't die, so...
Well, man. Or... Yeah, I guess Hinderstap is like this forever.
Yeah, excuse me. Tried not to sneeze too hard.
You can't sneeze on camera. You know people jerk off to that.
Yeah, sorry. You're welcome, actually.
Rob Leach. Thank you for that super chat. Just wanted to say that you guys are awesome. You're awesome, Rob.
No, you.
And I hope you will eventually read the Cosmere. Keep up your great content, you sexy beasts.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're a sexy beast, Rob.
It's because I sneezed, right?
Yeah. Yeah, can we get some super chats for sneezes up in this bitch?
No, we don't need to do that. Thank you, Rob, for that super chat. I really appreciate it. We got so many, like, first super chatters today.
Free sneezes. We do lots of, it's because we're at the end. People are like, you guys read 15 books.
Honestly, yeah, we need, like, an award. We need to put up a plaque. It's like, we survived the Wheel of Time and Attack on Titan.
And then we cut over to, we're with Joe Grady, and, this was really fun. I love that the village comes through. The people that he had watched die the previous night that he's mad about are back.
Well, and he's like, the Trollocs probably don't notice, but those Dreadlords are like, the fuck?
Yeah. And they come through, scare the shit out of the Dreadlords, and then Jer Grady busts open the dam, and the river rides. And it turns into a bunch of horses, and the Nazgul freak the fuck out about it. They do not like this moment at all.
No, definitely not. James Ross, welcome back to the Nerd Table. This is one of my favorite moments alongside the Varen reveal. I only caught on my third listen to the books.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's fair. There's so many names. I get it.
I feel like for me, the reason why this is one of my favorite moments is because I didn't love Hinderstap. It felt out of place in the series in terms of like the magical effect of it.
Yeah.
Just because like we know that the one thing the one power can't do is heal.
Right.
From death. And so it just kind of felt like this like weird it sort of felt to me like Combustion Man does in Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, this just doesn't fit this world to me.
Yeah.
And so finding a way to take this thing that to me didn't work and that I didn't like think really fit the world that you had built, and making that, like creatively using that as part of the last battle and having the characters really buy into the existence of it and not forgetting about it actually does a lot for me in terms of making it like a part of this world in a way that the magic of it still doesn't really make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Given what we know about the one power.
Wait, people call him Sparkly Boom Man?
Yeah, he doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
And like that whole first half of season 3 is really rocky to me because of him. But using Hinderstap here goes a long way to make this thing that doesn't really fit the world, in my opinion, a much softer read for me.
Yeah. You're like, I love that how it was used, and like it's done in such a creative way that, like, you know, even if it doesn't fit exactly into the world in my brain, like I see why it's here. Yeah,
and I really did like it.
It was well done.
It was like fist pumpy and fun, and a reveal that I felt like there was enough information drip fed throughout before they actually said Hinderstap that I was able to figure it out before the book told me.
Yeah.
And not in a way that like felt like the book was trying to be like ooh hoo hoo, but like it was that the book wanted you to have that moment where you figured it out for yourself. and I appreciated the way it was written. I thought it was done really well, and I really, really liked. I really liked that.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Chapter 41, a smile. We cut over to Pavara. Keep in mind, Perrin is still sleeping. No, I think he woke up, but he hasn't like done anything yet.
I thought he went back to bed. Can't remember.
Oh, there is the one time where he goes back to bed. Yeah. Sorry. Pavara is hanging out, and this is where we get. You really love the Taim stuff at the end of this book.
The Taim stuff? The Logain stuff.
The Logain stuff at the end of this book. Sorry.
Yes.
I just read Taim because we're about to talk about his scepter.
Yes.
I really like the end of it.
Yeah.
How did you feel about Logain suddenly being like obsessed with this sa'angreal?
It didn't really feel sudden to me. Like the way it was worked through with the explanation of like Taim was a captive of the Aes Sedai, and then he was basically a captive, or sorry, Logain. Logain was a captive of the Aes Sedai, and then he was basically a captive of Taim's, and he was almost turned against his will, and he's like, I need to have so much power to never allow someone to take that from me ever again. And like I don't agree with him, and neither do most of the people who are there with him, but like Logain still has the taint and the madness.
That's true. Nynaeve hasn't gotten to him yet.
Yeah, Nynaeve hasn't been able to help him out.
You
would
think that Nynaeve would have done that by now, but
well, I mean, she's kind of busy with Rand.
Yeah, but she figured out how to cure madness like
she has
5
not
months
seen
ago.
Logain. Logain only just showed up to Elaine. Like Logain has been like gone, disappeared. There is.
But Logain was with Rand for a while after Nynaeve figured out how to cure madness.
No, I don't think that was after.
When did she figure that out?
And
that was way back
Logain,
in. That was back in Tyr.
Yeah, that was when they like killed a fuck ton of the Trollocs. She couldn't heal the madness until after the taint was cleansed, and the taint was not cleansed at that point.
Yeah, it was. The taint was cleansed before that.
When they killed all those Trollocs and Lan left?
No, that's not when she figures out how to.
That's the only time she sees Logain. That's the only time they're ever together. And then
it is so strange to me now thinking about it that Nynaeve figures out how to cure the madness one time, and then that is never brought up again. Yeah. Like Nynaeve literally figures out how to cure the madness, and then she doesn't do that because I thought it was going to come back that she was going to be able to cure the turning.
Yeah.
And that her curing the madness was going to tie into her being able to cure the people that have been turned to the Dark One.
Yeah.
And I thought that was going to be the end of this.
Yeah.
Was Nynaeve, like, cures those people that had been turned. Mm-hmm. It's so weird to me now thinking back. Like, she's like, oh yeah, I can cure the madness out of all of these men. And then she doesn't do it. Not one more time. There's not a single other person in this series that she cures of their madness.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully she
just discovered that power so that she could do it once.
Yeah, she's busy. Her schedule is very full.
They weren't that busy. There was a lot of time where they're like in the fields of Marilor not doing nothing. There were days of negotiations where they're just kind of sitting there talking about stuff. It's not like this was like an action adventure, like we are like on the mission the whole time.
Yeah,
at the beginning of this book, they are sitting in the fields of Marilor doing dick all while they're trying to decide who's going to be their leader.
Yeah, it doesn't really come back.
Like, Nynaeve should have been like, hey, Rand, you got this meeting? Great. I'm going to go heal everybody. It's the one thing I like to do. I'm going to go cure some madness.
I'm going to go cure some madness. I'm going to butcher that username.
Zos. Thank you so much for that super chat. You're a gosh dang superhero.
Hell yeah.
I love the heart. Thank you.
We appreciate you. Thank you so much. We also never see Nynaeve like show anyone else how to do it. So if Nynaeve had died, then no one else would know how to cure the madness.
At least Egwene like showed other people how to make Quendalar, even though that also like never came back.
True.
There's a lot of stuff that's brought up in these books that just is never relevant again. Like she learns how to make Quendalar so that they can pay for the army. They don't need to do that because the fight just kind of ends.
Elaine can copy terangrials, but doesn't like make a bunch of terangrials for people to use during the battle.
Yeah, that has no bearing on the last battle.
Yeah. I mean, at least the medallions do. Like, at least the medallions come back, but she could have been, like, copying other...
Yeah, that's true. Doyle Millar has one. And yeah, that's
she
true.
definitely could have been copying other items.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, a lot of threads. too little time, too many threads.
She healed everyone with Rand, but he warned her to stay away from the Black Tower. Did she heal it? Maybe I'm just forgetting that. It says that happened, so that probably did happen then.
Yeah.
It just seemed that would have mattered more in terms of like the on-page narrative. But again, the end of this book is so weird in terms of what matters.
Yeah.
That I do kind of it's just one of those things that probably gets lost in it.
Yeah. See, Sting, that's not true. She, at this point in her pregnancy, she says she has no troubles channeling anymore, which is why in the battle she's fine. She can do whatever she wants.
Elaine. Sorry, I was thinking Nynaeve. I was like, wait, Nynaeve's pregnant?
No, Elaine
Who's the father? Lan's been fighting in the Blight.
Elaine definitely goes through a period where she can't channel properly. That is very explicitly
that's
set
only
up.
first trimester stuff, and like maybe early second trimester, but third trimester, she's fucking blasting.
Yeah. Margot Sedai, thank you so much for that super chat. Cheers.
Margot, you're a blue Aja today. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I just would have definitely loved to see Nynaeve share that information of curing the madness with other people.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm probably happened off page.
Josh Timko, thank you for that. Thank you for joining the Nargs. Can't make it to book club today, but excited to catch up later. Congrats on finishing Wheel of Time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Whatever series you decide to go with next, I'll be on board. It's Aragon.
We're doing the inheritance cycle. Next
Quintology now, I guess, with Murtagh.
Well, no, it's not actually part of the inheritance cycle. It is just like
everyone's gonna say what it is, though.
I guess. That schedule is in the Discord. We'll be making sure that we post it on all the socials and stuff. It's not going to be super long, only a few weeks, which will be really nice. And then in the new year, we're going to start something new.
Should we just decide right now? Should we play rock, paper, scissors for it?
What?
Should we play rock, paper, scissors for the next big series?
What are the...
One of us has to be Brandon Sanderson, and the other has to be Dr. Seuss. Where we do a book club about all of the Dr. Seuss books, one at a time.
Absolutely
for
not.
3 hours.
Absolutely not.
What do you think he meant when he said the cat in the hat?
I hate this.
Wait, we got a sponsor offer. I didn't tell you this.
What?
Oh my god, wait, someone sent us a sponsorship offer that was like, hey, we have, was it this one? No. Oh my god.
No idea.
They said that, like, hey, we would like to sponsor a reaction on your channel for our product. People who like our product like the movie The Cat in the Hat. Would you do a reaction to The Cat in the Hat?
The movie?
The movie! And I read the email and I was like, people like the Cat in the Hat movie?
I mean, I had fun watching it when I was, like, 11. I never thought it was very good. I also had the video game. I had the Cat in the Hat video game,
which was
bonkers. Absolutely fucking bonkers.
Bad Dragon, Seasting, I wish. I would take that guys, I would take that sponsorship so fast.
It would be a reaction video, but only from here up.
Reacting to what?
Bad Dragon.
But what are we reacting to?
Dildos. That's what they make.
Yeah, but what are we reacting to, Cars?
Yeah, you
just
know.
Looking at the dildos?
No. That's boring.
All right, apparently Claris is going to be starting a Bad Dragon review channel on the Hub.
You can review, like, sex dolls and stuff on YouTube. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Crazy what they allow.
We need to talk about the book.
Anyways,
Androl's really tired. Everyone's really tired. Taim has them looking for a golden scepter.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't worry about the fighting. And they're like, Taim, people are kind of dying here. We could do some good.
Yeah.
And Taim's like, I don't care. I want power.
I think that it works for me because of the madness, because it's mentioned, like, earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was, like, the previous section that we read. I was like, oh, yeah, Logain, he's not well. And that's why he's, like, clinging on to this item that he thinks that he needs to be able to remain, like, a free man.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I don't dislike it. I wondered how you felt about it, considering where it goes.
Yeah.
Logain.
Sorry, Logain.
I keep saying Taim.
They're not even that similar. I don't know. I keep doing it too.
And then Pavar comes up with a really good idea.
Yes, really good idea. And Androl's like, wow, that's a really good idea.
Basically, they're all too tired, and so they can't weave very much anymore. And so Pavar comes up with a really good idea, and Taim's like, and then Androl's like, mind link. Also,
Androl's like, wow, I'm so turned on.
We're gonna
now.
have so much sex later. We're gonna when all this is over, I'm gonna gateway you wherever you want. And then we're going to get naked, and then we're going to bang bits, and it's going to be wild.
They're going to go find Rand's igloo. Oh, God.
It becomes like a rite of passage to go have sex in Rand and Avienda's igloo. And you like go and you get in the igloo and scratched into the ice are like the names of all the people who boned there.
Oh my fucking God.
Like the cabin at summer camp on the lake where you're like, oh my God, this is the weird like.
You're like, I don't like this.
Storage cabin where everyone's scratched with their initials in the back of it.
Yeah. We got over to Gideon, who is still kicking.
Yeah.
For a little bit longer.
I love. Well, no, she's alive. At the end.
I mean, yeah, I guess she's alive.
We'll talk about it. Gideon is like, fucking Demandred, you fucking idiot. I know a little bit about war. And then she's like, I look like Demandred now. Boom, bitch. And so she goes to the middle of the Sharans. And some like Sharan monk dude. This was weird.
Yeah.
He's like, you're not Demandred. And she's like, Balefire. And everyone's like, all right, fine. Whatever. You're Demandred.
Yeah, I love her, like, line is like, better you should die than to question the one that you're supposed to love. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, that checks out.
And then the cannons appear and wipe her out.
No, they wipe out everybody else.
Well, but we think she's dead because she looks at a cannon and it explodes. But don't worry, from this point on, nobody dies.
Well, that's not exactly true. Moradin dies.
Does he?
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe. No, I have a theory about that that's gonna piss off chat.
Okay.
Guys, I have a theory about the epilogue that y'all are not gonna like, but it's the only way that I think it's interesting. Genly Bell, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you so much for the super
Congrats
chat.
on making it to the end, guys. You have been an absolute joy to watch. No, Genly Bell, you have been an absolute joy to watch. Wait.
Are you Santa Claus?
He sees you when you're sleeping.
No, thank you so much.
He watches you masturbate.
Oh, is that the rewrite?
That's the truth of it.
Yeah. Fucking Santa. What a creep.
No. It's not about being creepy. He does not get off on it. It is a power that he has that he can't turn off. And it's actually like his greatest curse.
Sad.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well,
Santa is just he's like gone to jail for child porn so many times and there's nothing he can do about it. Like he can't stop it.
Wow,
it is a tragedy.
People masturbate like at all hours of the day though, so he just is watching people masturbate for his whole life.
Yeah, but specifically only people under the age of 18. Like it's a nightmare.
Wait, why?
Yeah, and his kink is actually like really old, children? Like white-haired, wrinkly women. Why? So he like can't see the thing he actually wants to see.
Why can't he see everyone masturbate?
Well, because once you're an adult, Santa doesn't see you anymore.
Really? Is that how that works?
Yeah, he doesn't bring you toys or coal. It's like once you hit 18, Santa cannot see you anymore.
I thought he can still see you. He just doesn't give a fuck.
No.
He's like, I'm not responsible anymore.
Santa, once you turn 18, Santa forgets about you. Doesn't remember your name. Yeah, it's really...
That's so sad.
Santa's existence is hell.
That sounds awful.
Santa's existence is like the worst thing possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and like children are getting worse. And children are getting stupider. And so Santa's like whole life is trying to justify not giving kids coal because most of them deserve it.
He does boy math.
Boy math.
He's like, if they beat up a kid at school, but they got really good grades, how does that equate for coal versus toys? Boy math. God damn it.
Okay. Here we go. Woo! God, that was a dark joke. I'm sorry, y'all.
Gideon, dead. We go to Talmain's, and he's like, okay, close the gateway, open a new one, and the boom, the Trollocs.
Yeah, and so they reveal, like, the process of, like, the thing opens, they shoot the cannons out, the thing closes, they open the vent, then Aludra goes somewhere, looks through her spyglass, and is like, all right, and then she comes back and is like, we're gonna put it here, and then they put it there, and boom, 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 boom. It's really cool.
It's beautiful.
This is
honestly beautiful.
This is like Brandon Sanderson taking his like creative magic bullshit into cannons
Bullshit.
and it being fantastic. Brandon Sanderson, I like the way your brain works, my dude. I like the way your brain works.
Yeah.
I want to read your books. Rock, paper, scissors, Cosme or Dr. Seuss?
Why Dr. Seuss? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Because I think it's funny. All right, let's get into...
I would deliberately lose. Like...
How do you deliberately lose rock, paper, scissors?
You see what they do and you do it a split second after.
But it's on video. Everyone would know that you cheated.
No. You gotta, like...
The chat would feel cheated.
Nah. It's, like, imperceptible.
All right, so, chapter 42, Impossibilities. Maurice, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you so much.
Watching since 2020. Holy shit.
God damn.
That's the year we got married.
It is.
Did you see the wedding cake video? Y'all, if you want to watch us bake our wedding cake, you can.
It's a hell of a time.
Thanks for sharing this odd traumatic book series I somehow can't stop thinking about with all these weirdos. An odd traumatic book series I can't stop thinking about is the best review of the Wheel of Time.
No, that sums it up, like, perfectly.
Yeah. Your unfiltered opinions give me so much life. You are going to be living in about an hour and a half.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate that super chat. We appreciate you being on this journey with us for literal years. Wild.
Yeah. At this point, we were 2 chapters into the reading this week.
Yeah.
I just want to say, at this point, I was like, oh shit, the end of this book is great. The end of this book,
I was like, banger.
Someone cooked here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, a little spice here, a little shake here, a little onions, a little... What? You're like cooking. You're cooking.
All right, Sanji, calm down. AP, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Seuss? I'm not reading the rest of your super chat.
In this economy.
Shut up. It's not funny.
It's hilarious. That's why Chad keeps bringing it up.
It's not.
It's very funny.
It's bullshit. I did not hit her.
Comedy.
I did not.
Hi,
Mark.
For those of you who don't know, I keep forgetting to turn the light on. It's right there, Fabu. I have a little sign that says Kodar Yulik, which is dragon, Skyrim dragon shout for in this economy.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful piece of artwork.
Yeah, it was. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you for that constant reminder.
It's great. I love it.
So Avienda is fighting the Windfinders. We find out they have lost control of the bull. So the only thing they were supposed to do in the whole series, they failed at. Way to go, Windfinders. We will never hear about you again. I hope
you don't matter.
Some of you lived. I don't know if there are any. I don't know if there are any sea folk at the after this.
No idea.
Because the end of the book does not get into it.
Not a clue.
And so the Avienda is like running and fleeing, and there's a weird fight going on. A strange mist shows up, and the Trollocs begin to fight one another.
She's like, oh, that's pretty normal.
And the world goes nuts. This is where this series should have been an anime. Because I don't know how you fucking show this in live action.
Yeah.
It would cost... Like, the last battle is a $400 million 2-movie event.
It's like Endgame.
But it's if the hour of Endgame that is the fight were all of Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah.
Right? It is what if that, like, portals to the end, which is about an hour of, like, crazy shit that I wept through. Because I was alone at 10 a.m. for the first time, standing in a movie theater, just weeping at the joy in front of me. It is that hour stretched over the entirety of Infinity War and Endgame. I, like, do not know how you adapt this. I don't understand how you could possibly do it.
No clue.
It would be $400 million. It's, you need cavalry, you need cannons, you need
CGI.
You need so much CGI.
Yep.
There's so much magic. Mm-hmm. There's hundreds of people doing magic. Yep. Like this,
like 800 extras.
Like this series, and like I thought Dumais Wells was going to be hard. I thought there were battles before this that I was like, I don't know how they pull this off. There's just no fun. Like just logistically, you would need probably 9 months of shooting. You would need hundreds of people for 9 months.
Yeah.
Like the technical element of putting this on screen, having filmed some pretty big battle scenes in my life and been part of those 1,000-day extra days.
Yep.
You would need that every day for a year. Like it's fucking insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. Dwayne, welcome to the nerd table. We're happy to have you here. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, it's gonna be. It's I don't know how they do this. It's like absolute fucking insanity.
And that's just the last battle down there. At Thakandar, this is crazy. The ground is erupting. Like, God, the sets for this would be nuts. The amount of blue screen, like, it would be crazy.
Yeah.
It would be crazy to shoot.
Yeah.
So fun. But, like, Battle of the Bastards took them 55 days to shoot. Right? That episode took 55 days of night shots to shoot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how you do this.
No, I literally couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Not a clue.
But yeah, so the world is crazy. Everybody's fighting, and Cadsuane, and guess what? Olivia. We finally get a mention of Olivia, who is supposed to kill Rand.
She's there. She's
present helping Cadsuane fight Hessalam.
Yeah.
And the Hessalam's batteries.
Batteries. Her human batteries are starting to fall. Yeah. And Avienda gets like attacked by somebody, and she nerfs him, and then realizes, hey, it's Ruark. Very sad.
Yeah, Ruark had no chance, and this was fucking.
To be fair, we know he would rather die.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
And probably, here's the thing. I'm going to come back to this sec. Brother Taddies, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for
Congrats
the
on finishing
chat.
God of Bounce, but we'll catch us later.
Thank you.
See you later.
We appreciate you.
Ruark, I believe, would rather die to an Aiel who kills him with honor.
Yeah.
And that he knows. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that Ruark would rather die, period, than work for Grendel. But I think that I think that even Ruark would say, like, at least it was a fucking Aiel.
Yeah.
Like, if it had been a Trolloc, Ruark would have been... Ruark would have come back. He would have been so fucking pissed that a Trolloc got him. I think that Ruark in heaven is like...
Not today.
At least it was an Aiel who's, like, one of the best.
Yeah.
You know? I went down to one of the best. I didn't go down like a fucking chump.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. He is woken from the dream.
Yeah,
I guess Ruark did technically die in this section, but when Ruark was compulsed, I kind of, like, had that moment of, like, oh, he's dead already. But yeah,
but no, he dies here.
He dies in this section, yeah.
Yeah, he was just he was already dead. There's nothing in Ruark left.
Yeah, he was fantastic. He was a great character, and we never see how Amice feels about this.
Nynaeve could have saved him though, maybe. But he might have died immediately. We've never actually seen her heal all the way to like fine, right?
Yeah, the person that she healed of compulsion literally immediately died. So
yeah, we don't see his partner's reaction to his death.
Yeah.
Because the next time we see them, they're just talking to Nynaeve about what's next.
Yep.
Yeah, that was weird.
Moving on.
All right, so then we cut over to Mishrael. Who is Mishrael?
One of the Dark Friends. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about all I know about.
Yeah, so Mishrael chases down Rand al'Thor. What? Rand's here? And then he's like, oh, fuck, this is it. Wait.
It's a trap!
It's a trap! And then a bunch of, like, old-ass motherfucking Ogier are like, don't worry. A couple decades in this place, he's gonna be just fine. And I was like, this is horrifying.
They trick the Dark Friends into running into a steading. And the Ogier who are told to fight are like, no, don't. Because who is it? Is it Androl who's like, be careful, they can be devious. Mm-hmm. And the old Ogier is like, you think because we're like nice, we can't be devious?
This was genuinely horrifying.
I know.
I was like, oh my god, the Ogier are scary as fuck. Because the Ogier remember what it is like for male channelers. They know what it's like for male channelers in a steading, and they're like, don't you worry.
Yeah.
Their life's gonna be hell.
Yeah. Well, I do like the moment, and obviously, like, this doesn't play out, and it never will, but the one Ashman who's been turned, he's not dead, and so Androl's like, hey, hopefully maybe one day we can find a way to fix this.
Oh, Denalo.
Yeah, because they're just gonna stay trapped in the setting, and so maybe they'll have time to like study it and yeah.
No, there's no study.
Nynaeve's
just gonna be like, give me a second.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah, got him.
I figured it out.
Got him.
So it's just you put your thoughts in, and then you go, and then you go, and then the yellows go, oh my god, she's so fucking brilliant, but she's a wilder, and
then they never let you sleep because they harass you.
And we get like Androl's POV on this. And Pavar is like, are you going to kill them? And the Ogier are like, no. We're just going to, like,
Silly.
have them live in eternal torment for decades.
Torment? That's far.
No, we know that it's torturous to be there. The longer the male channelers are in the setting, the worse it gets.
What?
Yeah, after the breaking, male channelers went to the setting so they wouldn't hurt people. But the longer they were in the settings, the worse the feeling of being cut off from the one power got. And over time, it became torturous. So torturous that they ended up leaving so that they could go die.
Oh,
or taking their own lives.
I thought that they left because, like, they couldn't stand, like, not being able to help people or whatever.
No, they couldn't stand the, like, being cut off from the one power, and it got worse the longer it went on. And so they would leave because they couldn't stand it.
Well, it sucks to be evil.
That's why this was horrifying, was because they're like, oh, no, we're going to take care of them as they, like, fall into insanity over decades.
Yeah, no, that's going to suck. Have fun with that. Alviarin.
We get another cut to Avienda, and she's fighting, and she creates a spear out of, like, fire and earth, and as Grendel is about to escape, she manages to jam the spear into her, and because the spear is in Grendel, when she uses the true power travel, Avienda goes with her, and the two of them disappear together.
Yeah, because you have to be touching the other person to travel with the true power.
And apparently the spear is enough.
I mean, yeah.
It doesn't really make sense to me, because then, like, wouldn't... Like,
That's why your clothes
But,
go
like,
with
what
you.
is the limitation?
Huh?
Yeah, but in my opinion, like, a spear, it's not your clothes. It got into a weird question of, like, but then there were people that were touching the ground near her. Like, how far does this bubble extend?
It's not the landscape. It's, like, the things that...
I'm saying that, like... What is the difference between...
Also, their spears are, like, this long. Like, it stands to reason that Avienda's, like...
That's...
You know what I mean? Like...
It was made of Avienda's... Well, no, but it's not a spear. It's a magic. It's one power spear. It's not
yeah, sure.
I like this. It was made of Avienda's power, so it is part of Avienda. I'll buy that.
Sure, yeah.
I will buy that.
I just mean, like, to be close enough to stab someone with a short spear, you're close enough to touch them, so I just... yeah.
No,
it wasn't weird to me.
I like that it's Avienda's power.
Okay.
Because otherwise, like, could you, like, throw a chain at somebody and then, like, teleport with them from, like, 15 feet away?
Just, like, lasso.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
I guess. Also, Avienda's feet get fucking murked.
Yeah.
The ground, like, explodes, and she, like, jumps, and she, like, feels her, like, bones breaking and her skin, like, ripping apart. It's graphic.
Yeah. It's pretty wild.
Yeah. Spicy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she gets Lieutenant Dan.
I don't get the reference.
You don't know who Lieutenant Dan is?
Should I?
You ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan. Have you never seen Forrest Gump?
Yeah, a few times.
You've seen Forrest Gump a few times.
Yeah.
And you don't know who Lieutenant Dan is?
No.
How have you seen the movie?
What do you mean?
Lieutenant Dan! He gets his legs blown off.
I don't remember.
When they're at war, and then they have a fishing boat together, and then Forrest Gump starts Bubba Gump Shrimp Company because of Lieutenant Dan.
I thought...
He's like one of the main characters in the movie.
I thought that was his friend Bubba.
Yeah, but Lieutenant Dan, like, makes it possible.
Does he?
Yeah, he comes back, he's like... You ain't got no legs, Lieutenant. How have you seen this movie multiple times and you don't know who Lieutenant Dan is? They come back, they fish together.
Yeah, no, I thought that was Bubba. I don't, yeah.
He's like the second main character.
All I remember is,
I thought you were about to say, no, I've never seen Forrest Gump, which would track for you, but you said, I've seen it multiple times. It's like one of the most famous quotes of all time.
No, it's not. Life is like a box of chocolates.
Yeah, but that doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, it doesn't.
But
that's why it's funny.
You ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan.
I remember Tom Hanks, and I remember his mom, and I remember Jenny, and that's it. That's it. That's all I got.
Wow. Wow.
I'm sorry.
Lieutenant Dan is the one who bought the fruit company stock for bubblegum. Yeah.
Sure.
Wow, that's wild.
Sure.
No, I've seen it multiple times.
Yeah.
It would be like, I've seen the Avengers multiple times. Who's Hawkeye? Actually, I would argue Lieutenant Dan is a bigger character in Forrest Gump than Hawkeye is in the Avengers. It would be like saying, who's Nick Fury?
You know what? The first time I probably watched the Avengers, I was probably like Hawkeye. Sorry, which one is that again?
Oh my god.
Let's be honest.
He's Jeremy Renner, Academy Award nominee, okay?
It's very
all right,
hot.
we need to move on from this
Very
because
hot.
I'm so broken by it. No, I've seen it multiple times. I don't know who Lieutenant Dan is.
It's a good movie, but like I don't remember it. I haven't seen it in like fucking 12 years. Like I only have so much hard drive space. You know what I mean? Like isn't he the guy who flies like a hawk? Yeah. It's actually it's Anthony Anthony Mackie is Hawkeye.
I quit the play. We all know that Anthony Mackie is Captain Motherfucking America. Okay?
Yeah, we do.
Memory of Light, Chapter 43,
Chapter
A
43.
Field of Grass. Fabamu says, ask if she knows who Forrest Gump is.
I obviously.
You didn't know Lieutenant Dan. Nothing is obvious at this point.
Oh my god. All right. Okay.
You only remember Jenny because her tits are in the movie.
Yeah. How did you know?
Oh my god. Jesus Christ. I can't. No, I've seen it multiple times.
I don't know. I'm bad with names. Don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
If you showed me his face, I'd be like, oh, okay.
Sure. Logain is at the field of Marilar.
Yeah. Looking for his stick. Just a man and his stick.
Just a man and his scepter.
Yeah. Bless you. You're giving that away for free.
Faux free. Should I show my feet? And people are like, yo, Leilwyn shows up. You know what I just realized?
What?
What happens to fucking ship captain? Is he mentioned in the end of this book at all?
Nope.
Like, Leilwyn is here, but where is Bail Doman?
No, he is like offhand, I think, mentioned in this section as like a guy with her. Like that's it. That is it. That is ship captain's whole thing.
Ship captain's one of the best characters in this series. We all know it to be true. Apparently he's in season 2. Haven't watched it yet. Because I'm on strike. Hey, AMPT, give us a deal so that I can compliment your shows.
Yeah, please.
Because right now I just want to talk shit about you as people. Gary Bezos.
Get your shit together.
Figure your shit out.
Gary Bezos.
Yeah. Ted Iger, you motherfucker.
Nailed it. Yeah, Bail Doman is not really that important at the end of this series.
I know. I just was kind of hoping that he would, like, ride a, like, boat through a portal and crash through and, like, be a ship captain once more.
Right.
So, where were we? Logain, yeah, he's doing stuff. And, you must deliver the seals to the White Tower. And the sign is coming of light. She says it will be known when it arrives, which is still confusing because her death was a big beam of light. And I wish that wasn't so weird to me, but it's fine.
Yes, the next light.
The next
You're turning
light.
at the next light, not this light, the next light. Yeah.
It is like when you're trying to read directions to me and you're like, turn at the red light. And I'm like, this light. And you're like, yeah, it was that one. And I'm like, what? We drove through it.
Oopsie.
Zetterog! Thank that super chat.
So much for the super duper chat.
Started a bit late, but so glad and sad you'll have gotten through the books now.
It's emotional. It is certainly emotional.
It is definitely emotional.
I'm like in shock.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, like I can't believe it. And yet here we are.
And yet here we are talking about it, and like you can't spoil me anymore. Except for like one thing that I know that Clarice doesn't know. From the Brandon Sanderson thing. I got spoiled by a tweet because I was like, oh, I don't have to worry about spoilers. And I should have, because we haven't watched the Brandon Sanderson 10-year live stream yet, which we're going to do for next week. We're also going to read, apparently there's 2 cut chapters. We're going to read those for next week.
Gotcha, yeah.
But I was spoiled on something regarding Landfear that Clarice doesn't know. So that's
love
interesting.
that for me.
We'll talk about it next week. It doesn't really factor in this week. So we're only talking about the books, but all the extraneous stuff we'll do next time.
Gotcha. Okay. Sounds good.
So then Androl arrives and is like, fucking dude, the Trollocs are attacking the refugees.
Yeah, they're just killing a bunch of innocent people.
We need to do something about it. And Taim is like, fine.
Logain.
Fuck me. Sideways. Why am I so dyslexic? My brain just can't process. Like, the problem is they rhyme, and so in my head they're the same word.
Oh, yeah.
And that's insane. But that's what it is. They because they rhyme, it fucks me up.
No, that's fair.
Matt is riding with the heroes of the horn.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I guess because I'm a horn blower. Giggity.
And he's
I
like,
get a special spot.
Well, but he's also like, hey, am I like a hero of the horn?
And Archer Hawkwing is like, no, you could be. I don't know why.
Archer Hawkwing does not tell him that. Hend does.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
A character we've never heard of before.
I just assumed it was Archer Hawkwing.
No, I wrote it down because I was like, his name is like Hand with an E.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
But he's like, no, you're not. But you've done enough to earn a spot with us. But we know you do not want to be here.
Well, no, he's like, I don't know why you are not chosen. And Matt's like, because I don't want to fucking listen to that instrument. I don't want to have to be told what to do. Nobody tells Matchroom Cawthon what to do.
I think that Matt is always alive at these moments. Because he has memories of all of the battles. So Matt isn't a hero of the horn because he's never blown in from Tel'aran'rhiod. Matt is always alive at these moments. He's always alive, yeah. Because he has the memories of all the fights, right?
Right. Interesting. I like that. That's actually very fun.
And so the army, the Sanchin army is fighting. It's like working out. The Sharans leave. They're like, fuck this shit. We're going home.
Yeah.
I don't really know. Oh, wait. No, this is because Gideon got like half. Like, she's alive, but she did get blown up. So their command structure is just gone.
Yeah, no. They're getting the fuck out of there.
I should have reread some of this because a week later I'm like, why? Right. Gideon leaves. And then Elaine and the Sanchin attack the Trollocs from their. They boop the Trollocs from either side. And then the river does the fucking splits the Trollocs in half as it crashes through. And Matt is like, hey, I gotta go see Rand.
Pretty much, yeah. He's like, oh, I'm feeling that, like, pull. That little, like, the tug, you know? The tug. Feeling that.
Yeah, Rand tugs Matt from God's space. It's the weirdest hand job he's ever received.
Yeah. And then he's like, hey.
There's also, there's an element of this where, like, if you were hoping that all of the countries were going to be left off in an equal footing after the last battle so none of them could take over each other, nope. The Sanchin don't fight. They send in their pets.
Yeah. They send in all their animals.
Like, none of the Sanchin actually do any of the fighting.
There's a lot of, like, the Sanchin are good, honestly.
The Sanchin are fine.
They barely took any losses.
Yeah. The world is fucked after the last battle because the Sanchin are 100... The Sanchin lost Gucci. Nobody.
Yeah. Oh, and Matt's like, hey, Hawking, could you go chat with Tuan? I think she would love to have a conversation with you.
Yeah, and you know what doesn't happen? We don't get that conversation.
We don't get to see that.
It's like teasing like the coolest fucking idea possible.
I know.
And then not following through on it at all.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
Brandon Sanderson.
Very disappointing.
I call cowardice. Write that fucking scene.
Yeah, honestly though.
You have a chance to say something about the Sanchin and you don't. And like, I just...
Well, I don't know, because here's the thing. Hawkwing, like, hated the Aes Sedai and probably would have been, like, totally cool with the collars.
But Hawkwing has had time in Tel'aran'rhiod to... Like, that spinning out of Hawkwing. You don't know that that's how he feels after 2,000 years of Tel'aran'rhiod time, right?
Yeah. That's fair.
Fudgy Vamp says, I do repeat, I wonder if Matt sabotaged everyone besides the Sanchin. It doesn't not feel that way. Because they have a whole army that just doesn't get used because they come in too late and they don't need to do anything. Yeah. There's so little left for them to fight that they're like, no, let the puppies handle it. We're not gonna fight that ourselves.
And the weird ostriches. Yeah, they're just gonna go in and grab everybody.
Rand, we get some more of the fight between Rand and the Dark One, where Rand is now speaking in all caps because Rand has become God.
Yes.
And Rand is like, you can't win because you can't inspire people.
Nobody will die for you.
Which is maybe true.
Yeah. I mean, the Dark One wants his servants to all be incredibly selfish people. And so it stands to reason that none of them would do an unselfish thing and sacrifice themselves for something they believe in, like the Dark One or whatever it is.
Yeah, but I don't buy it. I think that, like,
Really?
just statistically, there would be enough people who are inspired by evil.
Yeah, but the literal, like, commonality between them all is that they are selfish. The one thing that they have in common.
Yeah, but I think that is and I think that as we get through the Dark One Rand stuff. 1 second. More says Prinmon. Thank you so much for the chat.
So much for
They're
the
inside of a
chat.
plane about to take off. Would love to watch us live. Been here
Oh.
since season 1. Can't believe you've reached the end. I'll be here next week though.
My God.
Thank you. Have a very safe flight.
Thank
Get
you.
to wherever
Fly
you're going
safe.
safely.
Yeah.
I think that this is where the breakdown, in my opinion, starts in what the book is trying to say about the Dark One being evil and the realities of evil. Where the book wants evil to be describable in a very tidy way. And I think that, like, that is a detriment to the battle between Rand and the Dark One. Because this book just sort of simplifies the Dark One down to a few basic ideas. And evil is so much more complicated than that. And I think that the book... I don't think enough is done at the end here to talk about how complicated evil is.
Yeah, we'll get...
And it gets a little bit simple... So that it can just wrap up with a clean little bow. And I wish it didn't. Yeah. Like, I actually think the ending of this is too simple. And we'll get into that, especially once we get into the epilogue. Yeah. And into some final ideas. Is it pee time? Yep. Everyone, it's our favorite segment. It's Claris pees on stream. I mean, but not during the stream, not on stream. I fucked that up. But yeah, Rand is like, you can't inspire people, but I can. We cut to Avienda. Avienda is trying to weave a gateway. She wants to escape Hasalam. And Hasalam is trying to, like, shield her. And Avienda manages to tie off the gateway, just in case, like, Amis sees it and can come help her. Hasalam, like, wraps up in air, but they're both pretty weak. And she tries to pull out her knife, but she's too weak to hold on to it. Our girl, Avienda. The midstream stream! I love the midstream stream. That's very funny. It's a midstream stream! Are we... Is she coming back? I think she's coming back now. All right, we'll just move on without her. It's fine. Chapter 44, Two Craftsmen. Perrin, Perrin wakes up. He's like, what did I miss? Oh my God, this would be the what did I miss from Hamilton. What did I miss? Head first into a Telarian abyss. Head first into the abyss. And he's like, hey, what's up, Chad? And Chad's like, yo, is Gowl okay? And Perrin's like, I'm gonna go see. I don't know. And Aes Sedai takes away his pain, and is like, yo, that's dangerous. And Perrin's like, yo, I know. It's gonna be fine. Yeah, we're in Berlane's place. Perrin has finally woken up to join the last battle after it's already over.
Oh, wakey.
And so, yeah. Perrin questions Masuri on why she was meeting with Massima. And she's like, I was going to use him. And Perrin's like, okay, that's fine. Can you give me the strength to go get Gowl back? Because I left him.
There's so many, like, random little threads that are just kind of left to the wind. But this one, we at least get an answer for.
I love that we get an answer for this. And the fact that Fail killed Massima never comes up again. Nope. Kyle Franson, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you so much.
Finally at the ultimate chapter episode.
The ultimate. I
feel like we've been through more than a year of edging, and we've reached the climax. I need a smoke and a cuddle.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds about right.
All right, yeah. You enjoy that. You enjoy that smoke and a cuddle. I'm allergic to cigarettes, so I will be cuddling in a different bed. I'm so sorry, Kyle.
It's fine. We'll have some cuddles. It'll be good.
And so he goes back to the wolf dream in the flesh, and he begins to hunt.
In the flesh.
Tom is... He's
writing.
Yeah, Tom is writing a novel.
He's writing a song.
He's writing a novel at this point.
Or a poem. I don't know. Here's the thing. Loyal writes the book.
That's fair.
So Tom's got to be writing something else, right? You can't have the same beat twice.
And so he sees someone, Cat Swain, walking up. And she's like, hey, Tom. And he's like, hey, Cat Swain, how you doing? And then she walks by him, and then he throws a knife in her back.
A knife in her back.
And drags her body into the pile of corpses.
And that was Cat Swain. She's done. She's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This was hilarious. But also I was like, they're not trying any other tactics, huh? Because any of them could just wipe out Tom immediately.
Yeah.
Like, Tom isn't really a guard against Aes Sedai.
No,
he can't do anything to someone who can channel.
Yeah, they could have just killed Tom and then walked in, but they're like, "Oh, hey."
But they're like, "I'm just gonna go check on Rand real quick," and Tom's like, "Yeah, sure you are."
Unless maybe Tom gets one of the
If
medallions?
it was like 2 of them, I would have been like, "This is great. Tom's awesome." But the fact that it's 6, I'm like, these people are fucking idiots. Like, he's not even inside. That people should have looked up and seen this happen.
Well, no, Cat Swain, like, nods to him before walking in.
Yeah.
Like, they're, yeah.
No, but I'm saying, like,
he's hiding.
Again, like, if it had been 2 people, if he killed 2 Aes Sedai this way, I'd have been like, that's really crazy. That's great. The fact that it's, like, 5 or 6, I'm like, what magic ability does Tom have?
Guys, Tom is GOAT.
Pete Stefan, thank you for that
so
super chat.
Super chat.
Catching up on a hearty
Go.
congrats to you both finishing this.
Thank you.
You've brought great insight, praise, and criticism, which gave me a new perspective on Wheel of Time. Now you can dive into the community fully.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm going to dive into all of you.
Well, it's so funny. Oh, wow. Oh, my. That was,
I will be hosting the orgy room at JordanCon 2024.
Jesus Christ.
Bring condoms, lube, and accoutrement from MistyMountainGaming.com. Misty Mountain Gaming is the best place to get your tabletop RPG gaming accoutrement. Use code nerdynightly15 for 15% off your order at MistyMountainGaming.com. Mm-hmm. Don't forget to bring your forbidden candy.
Roll for hot.
To the orgy. What was that, Close?
It said roll for hot.
No, before I made a joke.
I was gonna say, I, like, realized on Twitter now that, like, well, not 100%, but when it's, like, Wheel of Time spoilers, I don't get so, like, Rah! I try and be careful of the show stuff. I don't want to be spoiled on that. But the, like, conversations around, like, the series that are spoiler tagged, I'm like, oh, I don't have to worry about this now.
Yeah. Ooh, Nicholas Cardillo says killing a warder lets them know someone is at the entrance. Does anyone know that Tom is Moiraine? Does the Shadow know that Tom is Moiraine's warder, though? Is that common knowledge?
I didn't think anybody knew that.
Yeah, see, like, that's the only thing is the Tom, yeah. It's just goofy. It's fine, and it makes Tom seem like a badass at the end, so it's fun.
Yeah, he, like,
it's just a little goofy.
He gets a cool moment, and I'm glad he gets something because he gets nothing else.
I just don't think the moment is less cool if it's 2.
Yeah.
Like, killing 2 Aes Sedai is still really cool for Tom.
Yeah.
And making it
super cool.
Making it 5 or 6 is like it's just like a parade of women walking by him, thinking that that's a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
And not thinking that they would have like a code
days,
or
right?
like a. Well, it depends. Well, I mean, it's over the course of. It depends on where you are in the world.
He slept like 5 times.
In some places it's an hour, and in some places it's 7 days. So it's complicated.
Yeah, and he's like trying to find the words. The words.
I do
Exquisite,
like though. I do like that. Tom is like, I know exactly how Cat Swain walks. I have studied her walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lands on exquisite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wish he landed on sublime because it would have been a perfect joke.
Why?
Because of Ken's sublime in the Barbie movie.
Okay, fair enough.
Look, it's one of my favorite things. If you're not on TikTok, go on TikTok and find the like bloopers. It's probably elsewhere. I just saw it on TikTok. The bloopers or the outtakes of that where he tries different things. And just watching them all lose it. When he like goes around the corner and is like, her milkshake brings this boy to the yard. And then everyone on set just dies. It's great. Fantastic. Ryan Gosling, you're a Canadian treasure.
Truly.
And I'm honored to be from the same country as you. Kevin L. Stevenson, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you.
Late for book club, watching from beginning at 2 times speed.
Welcome.
To catch up. I've enjoyed the ride of the book club. Me as well.
Yeah, it has been a ride. I love that Cat Swain has a tail.
Cat Swain does have a tail. Maybe this is where they got that from.
Oh my god.
Nynaeve just knows how she walks.
He should have picked penultimate. Yeah, you're right, because it feels like there should be another book after this.
Boom! Boom, boom!
Next chapter, Tendrils of Mist.
Yeah, this is chapter 45, y'all. We're actually like
misty.
cruising through. We're doing the dang thing today.
Yeah, because
no 5-hour book club.
Well, no, I think we're gonna talk about like the actual like overarching themes at the end. So we're kind of banging out the events
the themes
first.
The themes, all the themes.
All the themes.
Matt is at Shale Ghul after Grady's like, all right, or no, sorry,
He's not
Matt is
there
like,
yet.
Grady, can you take me there? And Grady's like, I can
He's
get you like
no.
a day away. And Matt's like, all right, I got a way to make that a little bit faster.
Bet. Yeah.
Fane. What? He's back. Fane is now
Briefly.
Shai-Sam because the dude needs another fucking name.
Yeah, why not?
Ordeth, Mordeth, Mordeth.
I love that Shai-Sam is so close to Shaitan. Like,
Yeah, and he's like, my good friend.
my buddy.
My brother.
Buddy pal.
My brother
guy
in arms.
Chief. Bro.
Can we name all of his names? So he's Pen Fane,
Yeah.
Mordeth, Ordeth, which like fucking Ordeth. What a dumb like.
How
did nobody figure that out?
Name. Well, I don't think anyone who knows who Mordeth is, so it doesn't matter. But it's funny.
Aleda knows who Mordeth is.
Why?
Because the Aes Sedai know shit. She's the or not Aleda. Who was the fucking
Yeah, Aleda, right? Because Padden Fane goes to Aleda at some point. Oh no, wait, but he doesn't use.
No, he's Ordeth at that point. Yeah. Or
No,
it was at
he's
Sawan.
at the camp. He's at the camp.
Yeah, no, he's in. Remember when he was in the White Tower?
Yeah.
In the Emerald, and that like kind of didn't go anywhere.
Nothing happened there.
Because like the implication is that he's the one that set up the fall of the White Tower, but it wasn't. It was actually.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what's her name? Masana.
Oh, Masana. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Weird.
Light Blinded Fool, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you so
Have
much.
to head out
oh my
soon.
gosh.
Ob's watching back later, obviously.
Hell yeah.
Just want to say the ending works better for me on each reread, and the best part of the books is this amazing world we get to talk about with the statistically best fandom.
I love that. It's
Canonically the best.
Yeah. Canonically.
Until this book club is talking about another fandom, and then they will be the canonically best fandom.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Light Blinded Fool, thank you for that super chat.
Yeah, Fane is already
Thank you.
when he meets Elaine in book 5. What was that?
Weird.
It's one of those Wheel of Time things where you're like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got many names, basically.
I'm sure that was supposed to go somewhere, but then they decided that it was Masana. You know what I mean? Like, it was one of those, like, well, it can't be both. Like,
It's a hat on a hat. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
yeah.
It is...
So,
It is weird that Fudgy Vamp says Eleda couldn't sense Fane's evil, which is just weird. But, like...
yeah.
Yeah, even Moraine is like, that dude is fucked up.
I think that it's because Masana is hiding her evil from Aleda, and so Aleda's, like, being manipulated by the dark side already. And so
she just she
because the novice on duty can. Yeah, so I
is-
think that like she's cut off from being able to sense that somehow. I think that that's Alviarin and like the dark side fucking with her, and so she's not able to sense that Ordith is evil.
Yeah. Remember when we were like, best villain, Padden Fane?
Well, there was a time when he was interesting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The books just forgot about him and then did nothing. Like, we'll
Then,
get there,
yeah,
but like
did
this sucked. These two chapters exist to wipe him off of the board unceremoniously because books don't know what to do with him. They don't really know what his point is.
Yeah.
And so now he's Shai-Sam and he's like a floating cloud of mist that controls Trollocs and tendrils and whatever. And he is like becoming Mashadar? He's becoming Mashadar again.
Yeah, he like wants to find a place to like bury himself into the stone for a few years to become harder to kill.
And so I was excited because I was like, oh, Perrin is going to do something to wipe him out. Because this book multiple times points out that he's like this book goes out of its way to be like, hey, Perrin, you know how you think Trollocs killed your parents? Nope, it was Padden Fane.
Yep. And
it's so weird now in hindsight because they don't even interact. That why did the book retcon that here? Like it is so unimportant to the end of this book that they retcon that I was like, why bring it up?
Yeah.
Like multiple times. And in the most
don't.
awkward way where he's like, hey, I know we're about to fight together, but I was there when your parents died.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
like,
that was Fane.
I thought it was setting up that Perrin and Fane were going to have an interaction.
Because then Perrin tells Master Luhan as well. Like, and so it's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
So, so he's like, I'm going to go to... Padden Fane is like, I'm going to go eat Rand al'Thor, which is very kinky.
Yeah. He's like, man, al'Thor's soul. Tasty.
And so we get Gaul. And Gaul is trying to kill Slayer by sneaking up on him, but Slayer's like, nah, bitch. This is my dream world.
Yeah.
And a bunch of wolves arrive, and they start to fight. And they start to fight like rock decoys, and like this is really cool. I honestly think like the way in which the writing of the fight between the wolves and Slayer here, and throughout kind of all of these fights, going back to the Hopper death, I think there's been a lot of really creative writing in terms of the combat of this, and it's handled really well. And this is another moment.
We get an insight into Slayer's strategy here, right? Like he's not just showing up to like pew pew. He's being very deliberate in what he does.
We also learned that Slayer wanted to channel, and that's how he fell to the dark. Was that he was hoping the Dark One could teach him how to channel, and he couldn't. But he gave him something better. That I would argue is a fucking nightmare, to share my body with another person and never have relationships with anyone again and just be like powerful for no reason. But that's fine. That's me. I like people and being around them.
Yeah.
Arzu, thank you for 10 gifted members.
Arzu, thank you so much.
So many nargs.
So many nargs, so much green. Guys, green chat. Let's go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Perrin shows up. And Perrin and him fight, and Perrin, his eyes glow because now he's like full wolf brother. And Gaul runs away.
Yep. He's like, you know what? This is not made for me.
Also, apparently there's a prophecy that Luke will be important to the last battle, and he isn't. I don't really understand what that meant. That was weird, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Not important.
I didn't really, maybe I didn't get it. He just kind of dies there.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe we missed it, but I was like, oh, that didn't matter.
You can't spoil me. What did I miss in this, like, Luke will be important to the last battle thing? Because it didn't seem like he was, and I don't get it. But that's fine.
Not at all.
We cut over to Matt. Oliver, and Sulon is the name of this suncheon. They're on a Tarakin.
The Rockin', yeah.
Yeah, and so they're riding over Thakandar, and they hop down, and he's like, oh, Mashadar's there. And,
well, no, to be fair, they crash.
Well, no, they see Mashadar first.
Oh, you said they hop down. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, no, they're looking down.
Yeah.
I think I had Hopper in my head.
Oh, some weird
Mashadar's there.
Mist. It's misty.
And he's like, oh, fuck. And then Sulon takes an arrow. And so Matt's like, I need to learn how to fly a Tarakin now.
Yeah.
And he crashes him well.
Yeah, it could have been worse, for sure.
Right? He crashes him well. Although Oliver is like, hey, next time I will do the flying, because you're not great at it. Which was very funny. And Oliver blows the Horn of Valyr again. Mm-hmm. Didn't realize you could blow it twice in one day. I thought it had like a recharge. I thought it needed a long rest. But apparently...
No, a lot of people can go twice in one day, you know? What? You didn't like
Chapter
that one.
46,
didn't like
To
it.
Awaken. I can go many times in one day, and you know it.
You said apparently you can blow 2 times in one day.
I'm trying to keep this show monetized, and you are just driving us off a...
Far from monetized. Far from it. This is not suitable for advertisers except for Misty Mountain Gaming.
MistyMountainGaming.com. If you want to bring dice to an orgy, go to MistyMountainGaming.com. Use code nerdynightly15 for 15% off.
God damn it.
I mean, considering the shit we talked about in the relay, and that was sponsored by them, I don't think they'll mind.
I don't think so.
Yeah, they're chill people.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Chapter 46, To Awaken. We got Rand. We got Rand. He like breaks free of the like mind battle and starts duking it out with Morden, who throws a knife at Alana.
Yeah. They start fighting again.
But luckily, Nynaeve gave Alana some herbs to give her strength, which woke her ups to allow the bond to release, so Rand doesn't get fucked by it. Yeah. That's what happens.
So Alana dies. She gets kind of not a heroic moment, but like a final moment. How do you feel about in the world of Alana? How about Alana?
She's kind of useless.
I don't know how I feel about her. It's a weird one. Where like I guess this character dies. I said nobody dies past this point, but Alana does die.
Oh yeah, that's true. We
And
did
Rourke.
say that, and we have been wrong several times. So
Really, just
we're
Alana
gonna
and Rourke,
we're gonna
but-
take that back. That's our bad.
I guess my question about this is Alana here
Yeah.
is a device.
Yep.
And Cadsuane uses her as a device.
Yeah.
She's really more of a object than she's a character.
Yeah. Remember the whole sexy lamp thing?
Yeah. I feel conflicted about it because she's used to do something as like narratively. She's used to do something so awful to Rand.
Yeah.
And inflict such a like trauma on him, and then it's never given any like there's the purpose of it is just to traumatize Rand, and it doesn't seem to come from her character very much because after that point she just isn't really much of a person.
The only thing that she is used for, and literally used, is to like follow Rand when he's in the box, right?
Yeah.
Then that's
and Cadsuane uses it to follow him to formatting.
Okay, yeah.
But again, like she's used as like a tracking hound.
Yeah. Yeah. She is a dog that the series uses to follow the main character around.
And I think that like it's for this moment, but I wish, I don't know, I just wish that like I wish that more was done with her, and that she wasn't just like dropped, like forgotten about until they needed to like find Rand again.
Well, and she can clearly give up the bond whenever she wants. And, like, hasn't done that yet. Like, Alana at any point in this series, any point, could have been like, you know what? What I did, kind of sucked. Like, it kind of was super shitty. Maybe I'll let it go. I'll take it back. Because it's weird.
Yeah, and I wish that it came from that.
She has no redemption except in the final moments of her life, and it's because it's for, like, a greater good, not because she, like, feels bad about what she did.
Yeah, I think that it literally is just, like, she could have been a Pokeball. You know what I mean? Like, she could have just been a sexy lamp.
She could have been an Apple AirTag.
And I don't know. I don't...
She's a sexy Apple AirTag.
It is interesting the way it comes up, and I think that it is, like, a clever trick on Moradin's part.
Sure, yeah.
But the fact that she didn't release the bond so much earlier is what leads to this.
Yeah,
and
like,
that is her, like, being...
kind of a shitty character.
The worst.
Yeah. Like, Alana just kind of sucks.
But also, like, it's so weird that they get to this place because how the fuck does Rand not know that she's in danger through the bond? And, like, that is such a strange element of this whole thing to me, is that Rand also forgets about her, but he literally can't. Like, she's in his head. So, like, how did she get kidnapped and Rand not know? And, because it never comes up that Rand is like, I'm worried about Alana.
He would, like, know where she is at all times with the bond. And so, yeah, it is weird that he doesn't realize that she gets, like, I guess, like, drugged, kidnapped, and almost killed.
But how does he walk into Shia Ghul and not be like, oh, hey, Alana's over there? Because I can fucking feel her. She's in the room.
Inside
like,
the fucking boar.
It's another thing that's, like, weirdly convenient, and it doesn't work within how the powers work in this world.
Yeah, they literally forget about Alana until she's there to, like, be, like, useful at the end.
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
His bonder has been dulled, but maybe it's dulled, but she's right. She's 5 feet away from it. It's not like she's like...
It hasn't been dulled.
But even
he feels them all as a bundle in the back of his head equally.
And even as a trio, even after the trio, they still use Alana to find him, right? And so, I don't know.
Yeah. Like, he may not feel, I guess, her emotions, but you would think her dying would be pretty strong? Like, I know he can dampen it, but, like...
But she's so ill. She's literally dying.
Make it go away.
And she's so close. It's just weird. It's all just kind of, like, the way that it needs to happen.
Yeah.
In a way that I'm like, sure, okay, fine. Like, you can kind of... You have to just kind of accept it. Because it doesn't really work.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Light Blinded Fool, welcome back to the Nerd Table.
Now that you can't be spoiled, you will have all of the fandom to experience. I see Wheel, Melchior Talks, Unraveling the Pattern. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Lesbian Nerdy. There's some Lesbian Nerdy videos I've been wanting to watch that I haven't. Yeah.
Gonna be a lot of Wheel time.
Nicholas Cardillo.
Welcome back.
Ran asked her to free him after the other 3 bond him, but she was stubborn and said he was hers. So karma, and she was blocked, so Rand couldn't feel her. Yeah, but like there's no, it's not blocked, right? It's muted. It's dulled.
Yeah, if
like
Rand could just block the bond, then it wouldn't matter. Like none of it would really matter.
It works the way that it needs to in this moment. Like the bond has gotten a little bit wishy-washy in terms of how it works.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It's fine. It's just this was like such an important moment, and I wish we'd gotten more with Alana. Honestly, like I wish we'd like.
She's such a nothing character.
She disappears for so long, only to be so important at the end for such a like non-human reason.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It's just not my favorite.
Yeah.
So we get this does lead Rand to raise Kalendor to strike out at Moradin, but Moradin stabs himself in the hand, which hurts Rand because they're connected, which isn't explored.
No.
The why they're connected there's never a reason given for that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I really expected that to be explained in the end here, and it just kind of isn't. They're just connected.
Yep.
And it comes all the way to the end where they switch bodies, and you're like, but why? And there's no reason. There's literally like the books don't even like give a like bullshit reason. It is just not explained. It just exists.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really get it. Like, yeah, like obviously they're connected.
It's because they crossed the balefire stream, so now their bodies are connected? Why?
What?
That's not what balefire does.
Balefire doesn't affect the person casting it.
Okay. Sure. I guess it's because they cross streams and not because of the sky battle stabbing. I don't know. That's fine.
If you say so, I guess.
It doesn't explain how they like switch bodies at the end at all. But like it's fine.
Yeah, like we guess that they're connected because they're very clearly connected, like with Rand showing up in his dreams.
I forgot about this crossing streams, but yeah. It makes perfect sense. It does not make perfect sense.
Well, no, because we
didn't you see Ghostbusters? Yeah, I guess it's because they cross the streams.
I just don't understand why balefire doesn't affect the person casting it in any other instance, except when a balefire touches a balefire. But also, we've never seen the weave have a connection directly to the person casting it.
How is in all of these fightings with the people casting balefire at each other, how are the Dark Ones' armies not crossing streams constantly in the last battle? They're just shooting balefire randomly.
Yeah, and none of them cross, I guess.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I guess it kind of works.
I mean,
it just doesn't
definitely got that they had a connection, but like genuinely, like I didn't realize it was just because balefire. Like the balefire, honestly, that doesn't really make any sense to me. I figured that maybe they had a connection from like the Age of Legends, like because they like fought so many times, or they were part of the same person, or that like a similar soul that was like ripped apart. Like I don't.
So then when Smasana, or no, when Semiraj destroyed Rand's hand, Moradin didn't lose a hand, though.
Maybe he felt it.
I guess. There's a lot of shit that's happened to Rand that I guess has also happened to me.
I just wish that we, like, there was something else in this series where a weave affected the person casting it.
No, because balefire is different. That's the whole, it is different.
Yeah, but we've still never seen balefire affect the person who casts it. Like, look, if balefire had been set up as a weave, right? Mm-hmm. If balefire had been set up as a weave that takes something from the person creating it or casting it, or is connected to them in a different way.
No, because it does twist the pattern. Like it like burns at the pattern, right? And so it like if you take two pieces of thread and you burn them together, you can like that's how you like create eyelets, right? You burn the threads together. So I like the
eyelets are the circles.
If you lose the plastic bit at the end of your shoelace, this actually doesn't make sense. If you lose the plastic bit at the end of your shoelace and you take a lighter to it, you burn those threads together. So balefire, by crossing the streams, those threads are now burned together. But that means that Moradin also can't die. Like either they're connected, and this is going to get into this is going to get into my epilogue theory.
Yeah.
Okay, so this makes sense. Let's say that this makes sense. It doesn't really, obviously, because it's magic. But within this world, let's say it makes sense. The idea is that by balefire crossing the stream, the threads are now like the threads of the pattern are now fused together.
But the problem is balefire goes back in time, so they wouldn't have touched.
Right. It burns like so. Like say the thread is this long. It burns this much, And then where the thread is burned back to, it's now connected to each other. It's now like fused. And so their threads are fused in the pattern.
But the middle bit wouldn't exist anymore.
Yes, it would. Where it burns back to, it would still connect.
If you have two threads,
yes,
and they hit one another and they burn, okay, then they would fuse together. But the problem is they burn by going back in time, which means like this segment at the end of each doesn't exist, so they're not touching.
Okay, you're thinking way too literally, and you need to think a little bit more metaphorically. Because okay, if we're gonna go that far, nothing in Wheel of Time can happen because magic doesn't exist. Like that, if we're gonna go as literal as you just went, then you need to stop reading fantasy because no magic can exist.
Don't tell me what to do.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that this does make sense.
So do you think then Moradin is the Dark One?
No. In the same way that Rand isn't the creator.
But he is the creator.
No, because Nakomi's the creator and Shadar Haran was the Dark One.
No.
Yes. They are like the next in line. Rand is Jesus, right? And Nakomi is God. And but that doesn't work because then Moradin would be Lucifer. You can't really use Christian ideology here.
I'm not using, I just mean in terms of like this world, the creator and the Dark One. If they're connected in that way, then the creator and the Dark One are intrinsically connected, like because of how the world functions. So then Moradin would have become the Dark One, and Rand would be the creator because he can just magic whatever he needs.
Ken the Ashaman says, Cassian Balefire tears the soul apart. That's how Rand made Moradin into a Horcrux. So Rand can only die if Moradin gets thrown into Mount Doom.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay. I will say it fine. It works. I wish that this was clearer because it is so important to how the book ends.
Yeah.
That I wish that this was a little bit less. Figure it out for yourself.
Sure. Okay.
You know what I mean? I wish that this was clear because it is the only resolution we get into the whole series is this element of it. Nothing else is resolved. Everything else is up for grabs, right? There is literally no resolution after the climax of this book. Except this thing. And you kind of have to guess at how this works because it doesn't really make sense on its own.
Yeah.
And so I wish that this was clearer because it's the only fucking thing that we get at the end of the book.
Right.
Right? Everything else is like, it's your own headcanon. And so I just wish that this was clear because it's the only thing that they discuss in the epilogue.
Yeah.
Except who's alive.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I think that Chad has convinced me. I'm on board with the Balefire kind of making sense. I disagree that it's true power, one power. It doesn't matter. That shouldn't matter here.
That's
Balefire is Balefire, and if it's gonna be that, if it's because Balefire burns at the pattern and they get intertwined afterwards, that's fine. But it being one power versus not a true power, like that shouldn't matter in this case then.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
So we cut over to Perrin. This leads to Wheel of Time level never-ending debate. Yeah, the problem is that like it can be anything, Colonel Sanders, and so the potentials. I wish this series drilled down a couple things.
Yeah, a little more specific.
It is truly a random. It is truly a shaky foundation underneath all of especially the end, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Creator and Dark One is yin and yang. Rand and Moradin are the dots. That's my headcanon. I like that.
The
Lucky.
dots? Okay, that's fun.
I like that. Perrin is fighting Slayer, and he is just he's fully let go. He's gone full Wolf Brother.
Let it go.
Which is weird because this is not the chapter called Wolf Brother.
Yes, yes.
And he's watching the fighting going on. And
Slayer like shifts into like the real world.
Yeah.
And Perrin follows, but Slayer doesn't know that he can like do that yet.
Yeah.
So they're like running through, and then Slayer looks back and is like, "Oh fuck!" And so he shifts back, and then Perrin is like, "Nah, not today. This is where the real fucking hunt starts." And so they're like shifting in and out of like Teleran Riad in the real world, and like Perrin is like both himself and the wolf at the same time. Like it becomes like faster and faster. It's like Flicker, which they do reference Flicker again in this section of the book, which was a nice touch. He's able to kill Slayer because Slayer is so caught off guard.
Yeah.
And is on he is on the defense and can't he can't turn it around, and Perrin does not give him like a moment to breathe and get his bearings underneath of him. Perrin is just like, no, not today. Fucks him up, and it's great. It's great.
It's a really cool final moment, but is kind of ruined by the Darkhounds breaking through the Dragonsworn, and so things are bad.
The Darkhounds are very dangerous,
and so the Aiel, what's left of the Aiel, who are supposed to be the cops of this world after this ends, but they are fucked.
There's like 7 of them left.
They go to the mouth of the Pit of Doom, and they are aided by the wolves that are brought into the real world by the Horn of Valir.
Yeah, the wolves are also heroes.
How did you feel about this?
I don't know how a wolf becomes a hero of the Horn. Like, I don't know what the wolf checklist is.
I don't mind that.
No, yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. Because, like, yeah, a wolf can be a hero too. I like the sentiment of that.
Yeah.
Like, why haven't they come before? Like, what? I think my question about this moment was, like, why weren't there, like, if there are animals who are tied to the horn, where were they every other time the horn has been blown?
So they seem to be tied in a different way. Like, the wolves of the horn gathered at Shire Ghul, and the wolves not of the horn, all wolves on any plane of existence gathered at Shire Ghul for the last hunt. And so I think they just were not present when the horn was blown. Like, they don't get called like the people do to the banner. They have to be in their, like, dream world where they are when the horn is blown. Like, that's what it seems like.
So whenever the Horn of Valir is blown, do a bunch of ghost wolves just appear all over the planet randomly?
Wherever they are at that moment, yeah. Probably.
Or, like, do you have to be close enough to hear the horn blown in Tel'aran'rhiod, maybe?
I don't know.
This was just one of those things that was, like, so cool, but I was like, oh, this is such a cool moment that's not how that works, but I guess it does now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that kind of thing. I'm not a huge fan of Rule of Cool in a way that, like, in this way, where it's like, oh, you know what would be really cool? What if the horn this time brought back wolves? It never does that before.
Yeah.
But, like, this time the wolves come back too because they're there. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just different this time.
It's the last hunt, so it's different for some reason.
And maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's like it only works this time because the, like, wall between Tel'aran'rhiod and the real world is at its thinnest it's ever been.
Yeah.
And, like, maybe that is what it is. But it feels like a, like, and this, I think that this book just has a lot of this. Mm-hmm. And so I wouldn't mind this one if it wasn't following the 15 other things in this book that happen in this book because.
Just because.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, for a book that is for a series that is so meticulous through so much of it about why things are happening and where armies are and all of this stuff, I think at the end it just gets a little bit. It loses that. Like,
it loses the specificity.
As much as I love The Last Battle, it doesn't feel like the Wheel of Time. Mm-hmm. And in the way that those kind of concepts are written. Mm-hmm. And so it's fun, and it becomes a tough game of, like, what do you buy into? And I really buy into, like, Androl's use of the gateways, because it harkens back to the way that power works in other parts of these books.
Yeah.
And I don't buy into as much the suddenness of... Oh, and the wolves come back this time, too, because we need them or else we would all die.
Yeah, because... And this also gets to the banner. Is that earlier on, Arthur Hawkwing's like, yeah, no, we come under the dragon's banner, right? And then Matt loses the banner, but they still show up anyways, because Ulfr's like, no, there are clouds in the sky or the banner. But they make it seem like it's that specific banner, but I guess the Heroes of the Horn can show up under any banner of the dragon.
Anywhere where there is the yin and yang symbol.
So they could just show up, like, if halfway across the world someone doesn't know what the symbol means and they just, like, fly a flag because they think that it's cool, does that mean they will just show up?
Yeah, Brigid is like, where am I? Is this New York City? The greatest city in the world.
Yeah. It is a bit weird.
I agree.
Because here's the thing, even if you're like, oh, well, no, the wolves are tied to Perrin because he's, like, a wolf brother. Perrin was at Falmouth, so... that doesn't even really matter.
It's tough because I want to be really honest, right? We've said in book club that we're going to be honest, and it's tough because at the end here, like I want to have like the best book club ever. You know, I just want to like sit here and be like, we did it.
We did it.
But I do want to be honest, and like I really like a lot of this stuff. I think like the Androl moment with the setting is so cool. I think the like Talmain's shooting the cannons through the gateways, so cool. I think Avienda losing her legs and like continuing to fight, like that stuff is so good.
Yeah.
And it is actually the like epic stuff, the like, oh my god, look at this cool thing that happened, that doesn't have a lot of justification, that works less for me here. Because I really did feel if you go back to like the Great Hunt, when I was like, oh my god, what I loved about the end of that book was like the way everyone got to that place.
Mm-hmm. So specific.
And the way that like Elaine runs into Min. It's so specific to this is why this world functions this way and how these characters end up in these places because of the way that they're thinking. Mm-hmm. And I was so enamored with that because it didn't feel convenient. And I really loved that at the beginning of the series. Yeah. And as the series went on, that tight threading of the pattern, I feel like got looser and looser and looser to now where it's just like, there's some stuff here that's like really, really convenient. Mm-hmm. And it loses me. It loses me in the like, the people who survive who just don't need to but then don't have any resolution on their characters. So like, why did you keep them alive?
The beginning of this series felt so specific and the end feels so unspecific.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like it does feel very different. And honestly, like we're going to get to it, but I am disappointed.
Yeah. Let's keep moving. Cause I want to get to the epilogue. Yeah. And I don't want this book club to be 5 hours. So Matt,
Matt's like, Perrin's like, hey, Darkhounds. And Matt's like, hey, Fane is here. And they're like, oh shit, well that's crazy.
And Perrin is like, oh, I'm gonna go kill Fane then because he killed my parents. No, you know, I gotta go do something
Never
else.
mind. Oh, and he's also like, Fail had the horn. She good? And Matt's like, I don't know. And Perrin's like, she could be alive though. And he's like, yeah, of course.
Maybe.
She's
fine. Mashadar stabs Matt with smoke.
Yeah.
Chapter 47. Matt stabs Mashadar back. Matt is fine. No. We'll go through it in the right order. This is called Watching the Flow Writhe. This was like Avienda is trying to fight, and so she's trying to like unweave the gateway.
Well, she puts up a gateway to hopefully, and it's like, Amis has got to see this, right? And come get me. And nothing happens. And so she's like, there's nothing else I can do except to like pick apart this weave. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Well, and she knows that Grendel doesn't have enough power to get back either, right? Yeah. And so she's like, although the best I can do is keep Grendel away from that fight, so I'm going to like take this gateway away.
Yeah.
And the gateway explodes. And you're like, oh great, Avienda died killing Grendel. That's a really huge moment.
Yeah.
No, she's fine.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Fane is like, weird, one of my eyes went dark.
Yeah.
And he sees a dead guy, and it's Matt, who's not dead, and then he stabs him, and...
Matt's like, did you know
you cannot get chickenpox twice?
If you get a disease, your body develops antibodies, which allows you to have a stronger immune system the next time you get bodies. In the future, we'll have these things called vaccines that do it for us. But for now, I have Mashadar antibodies. Yeah. And then he stabs Fane, and Fane immediately dies.
My white blood cells recognize you. They fucking know you, okay? So when Matt was removed from the dagger, was that his vaccine? Seconds. That the White Tower vaccinated Matt.
Yeah. The White Tower.
Yeah. Matt got vaccinated.
But you know what? Matt didn't get his boosters, so you know he can't work on a TV set because you have to be double boosted to work. But
you gotta be double boosted. Like them titties.
Really was like, why even bring Fane back?
Yeah, I know.
Like this was such a non moment. It feels so goofy that Fane is like, I'm here. I'm a big smoke monster.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I hated it.
How does he know the Dark One? Like, I guess, like, Mashadar is this also otherworldly force that's as big as the Creator and the Dark One?
He's crazy. he's just nuts. There's
but
no...
he's like my friends?
Yeah, but he also thinks of Rand as a friend. Like, he's just crazy.
Yeah, he's like the creator. We're buddies.
Yeah, I don't...
We go watch football every Sunday and eat wings. Like...
I'd hang out with Fane. That actor's so good.
The actor's fantastic.
He literally, like, I just want him to play my dad.
Yeah,
he's so good.
This, honestly, was so disappointing.
Yeah, it really was. I loved Fane. You guys know, there was a time...
I'm glad no one is like, no, I love it and you're missing the point. Because I was like, I don't get it.
Well, because there just isn't a point, like... Other than Matt apparently they know enough about medicine to know that antibodies exist.
Yeah, how does Matt know that?
I mean, Nynaeve yells at him a lot, so maybe that makes
actually,
sense. Even
Matt,
Sanderson hates that ending. Really?
Here's the thing. Okay, even I guess Matt has the memories from the Age of Legends where they probably add back scenes.
No, he doesn't. He only has memories going back to the Trolloc Wars.
Oh, you're right.
We have talked about this so many times.
I just keep assuming that Matt remembers everything. No, you're right.
We have gone over this so many times.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, it felt wasted, and like I was looking at how much book there was left, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, because at that point it's like this much. No, it's less than that.
Yeah, it's less than that.
It's like this much.
And I was just like, oh, is everything going to be convenient from here to the end? And the answer kind of is yes.
Kind of is yes.
And it's so tough because I love the last battle. I think that chapter's so impressive. And I would have cut half of it to put more after this point.
Yes.
Right? Like, I just think that there's so much emphasis in this book about the fights. And we talked about this in like the third book club of this book, where I was like, as much as a lot of this stuff is cool, I don't care about who these characters are with, and it's a lot of fighting, and it's just like combat, and I'm excited for when this book gets past that and about what the point of this book was. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, it never kind of does. There's just sort of a very quick epilogue, and let's keep going because I want to get to it. But it is a very weird end to this.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. Perrin leaves Matt to go pick up Gowl and takes him to the Two Rivers camp at the Field of Merrilor. He leaves Gowl there and bumps back to Shao Ghul.
Yep.
Can I ask a question here?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't he take him to Maine? I felt very weird about this.
Well, because he knew that Bane and Chiad were going to be there.
No, Bane and Chiad are in Maine.
No, they said they were leaving, remember? They were going to the Fields of Merrilor.
Right. So to go help pick... Right.
Yeah, so I'm just assuming that not a lot of people are left in Maine, that a lot of people went to the Fields of Merrilor, and Perrin is like, I think I'll have a better chance there.
Maybe I just read over it. We don't really get their moment together, right? Bane, Chiad, and Gowl.
Nope.
Like, there's no, like... Yeah, there's no there.
Nope, none of that. We don't get that.
Yeah.
They don't even interact. Yeah. We don't get to see them see one another at all. Rand is fighting with Moradin, and Moradin grabs Kalendor because he stabbed himself in the hand and Rand dropped it, and he's like, oh my gosh, a true power sangreal? That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And he gets caught in the trap.
And so the flaw is that you can control someone if they're wielding Kalendor, and so I guess this is where this is where this gets weird for me. So Rand, Moraine, and Nynaeve use Kalendor to control Moradin, and they use so at this point they open the bore and pull the Dark One through the bore, but the seals aren't broken yet.
The seals break at this moment because this is when light explodes from Rand.
But doesn't the light explode when he's pulling him through? Like, it's after he's already pulled the Dark One through.
I thought it was when he had his hand in the thing. Like, he hasn't pulled him out yet. His hand is in the trap. The Dark One is not out of his prison.
Okay, so the hand is, like, covered in true power and then Sidon and then... Or Sidar and then Sidon. So he's got all of that in his hand. And he reaches in and grabs the Dark One.
Yeah.
And is like...
It's like a little worm.
And then the Dark One wants to turn off the true power, but can't because there's too much true power, apparently. Because the Dark One, it's...
Well, I'm assuming that's because of Kalendor, right? That is the whole reason Kalendor is there, is to trap Moradin and the Dark One, which is cool. I like that the idea of this trap, that Rand is like, oh, wait, this trap is not for me.
Yeah.
Like, that, I think, is, like, super awesome. And I just think that, like, it's because the true power, it's because Kalendor can pull, like, doesn't have a cap on how much power you can pull. And so they are pulling everything, and it's like trying to stop, like, if a dam breaks, you can't, like, stand there and plug it with your hands, you know?
I guess I have a lot of questions about what the true power is then.
Great, yes,
because like,
me too.
How was the Dark One able to... So the Dark One is only able to control your access to it if you don't use the Kalendor. But like, why can't he just turn off the true power to Kalendor? If it is literally his essence, right? And like, maybe he just hasn't done enough Kegels?
He can't stop the stream! Guys, the Dark One's pelvic floor is pretty weak. He doesn't work it out, you know?
So we cut to chapter 48, and this is where the light breaks. Bazimian says true power is the Dark One. That is the whole thing that it's fine. So then Elaine, we see her. She sees a bright light shoot into the sky. And then Tom sees a bright light shoot into the sky. And then Min sees a bright light shoot into the sky.
Yeah.
And then Avienda sees a bright light shoot into the sky.
And she's like, that's my boy!
And Grendel is like, I work for you now, Avienda. I love you so much. You're so pretty.
Please give me orders.
Yeah, because the compulsion, the exploding of the gateway made the compulsion compulse her back.
Yeah.
Which is cool, I guess. It's fine.
Yeah.
Grendel going down to her own hubris is good. And then Logain, I just wish that it was like something that Avienda did intentionally and not just like an accident, but it's fine. But Avienda is alive. And we see Logain, the light bursts everywhere. This is the light that they were talking about, the Ron Weasley wand. That's very funny.
Oh my god, yeah.
And a bunch of people come up to Logain and are like, you saved us from the Trollocs, you're the best ever, thanks, dude.
Yeah,
and he's
I will take my son to see if he has the talent. And Logain is like, oh, the talent.
And all Logain needed was one person to be kind to him. And he's like, all right. And then he breaks the seals okay, this is hilarious. This whole time, we talked about this last week, I thought the seals were like dinner plates.
Yeah, and I thought they were like this big.
Yeah, apparently they're like biscuits. Like he literally like pulls a couple of arrowroot crackers out of his pocket,
Crumbles
snaps
them. Blows them to the wind. Honestly, this was the part that made me cry. I posted a photo.
Yeah.
This part was...
Talk about it.
Well, and I think I'm going to spoil it a little bit. I'm sorry that this is my high. But, like, Logain having this moment of, like, people showing him kindness and not fear, right? Because we know his water bond, he, like, feels those things, but he can't trust her completely because she's an Aes Sedai, and he's like, no, she must have found a way to manipulate it. But, like, these are just, like, normal people who are like, you saved us, and what the things that you can do are actually can be in service of people. It is a talent. It is not a curse. It is not a burden. It is a thing that can be used for good. That is beautiful. And like him having that realization and the people there having that realization, just like it got me good. It was, And here's the thing.
I came downstairs and you were like on the couch just like tears.
Yeah,
and we were supposed to record something that night and you're like, I'm gonna need to redo my makeup. It was the epilogue reaction. We did the epilogue reaction after this.
Yeah. And so I absolutely love this moment because like, you could say that Logain's glory comes from him like leading the Black Tower, but I think it's like, I think it's more so that I think it's more so how the people see him and like the male channelers afterwards, if that makes sense.
I'm gonna throw something out there that might be a little bit spicy.
Oh.
I think Logain is the only character that gets an actual resolution in this book.
Yes.
I think Logain is the only plotline in the series that gets a genuine, heartfelt resolution.
Yep.
And I was shocked that it was Logain.
Absolutely, yeah.
But Logain is the only person who has a button placed, or has a period placed on the end of the sentence.
Yep.
And everything else is left wiggling in the wind.
I agree, which is why I think it got me emotionally, and it was the most satisfying part of the ending. Glenn, thank you for that super chat.
I guess the big twist here is that Kalendar is the only sangreal for the true power. We're meant to understand that Lews Therin's error is using Saidin for this last time. I guess I wish we got more into what... I wish that Rand's memories we got more of what Lews Therin did last time, because I don't know what... I don't actually know what Rand did different, other than going into the void.
Well, Rand used all 3 powers as opposed to just 1.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess I just don't know, like, was the true power not a part of the last time? I know that Saidin wasn't, but was... Or Saidar. I can never remember which is which.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I would argue that Egwene's arc is also complete. It's not, and we'll get into why it's not in a second. Egwene is dead, and Egwene gets an amazing death. Her arc is not complete. And I will explain why when we get to the epilogue. Soon. We're almost at the epilogue. We just have to get through light and shadow.
We're so close.
And actually, why I actually think Egwene is the worst. Egwene gets the least arc because
of what they do.
Let's get through this last chapter, and then we're going to talk about the epilogue because light and shadow. Perrin stumbles through the wolf dream where everything is dead, and he kills Lanfear.
Yeah, apparently, like, Lanfear had him compulsed, which makes her just a far less interesting character than I thought that she was earlier on in the series. So it kind of undoes that work a little bit, which is unfortunate.
Felt Like Gaming, thank you for that super chat. If you haven't read The Strike on Child Ghoul, you should.
Yes,
we did.
We
it was
did.
good.
Yes.
I just wish Strike on Child Ghoul isn't really from anyone's perspective. It's more like a textbook entry. And I think that with Rand having the memories of Lews Therin, I feel like this book could have shown us his perspective on what happened last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that super chat.
Hannah Green says there's a buffer of true power preventing the Dark One from touching Saidar and Saidin, so they can't be tainted. That doesn't make any sense because the true power is what taints.
If the true power is the Dark One, like people say, then
it implies that like Rand now controls the true power. Rand like took control of the true power away from the Dark One, even though the true power is the Dark One.
So Rand is now the Dark One, not the creator.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, we'll get to what I think about that in a second.
Okay.
So Perrin, so he stumbles through. Basically, him and Lanfear walk into the Shia Ghul cave. It doesn't take them hours this time, because that doesn't exist anymore. I don't really understand it. The whole reason why the Mind Spike is there is so that you can't just walk down there. It would take hours to get there, but this time it doesn't because they're...
No, you can't travel.
I know, but it takes hours to walk down that cave.
Right.
This just like... I know the truth of this moment. I've read the tweet.
It's just getting through the barrier.
I know. And like you haven't... Yeah. There's something about this that we can't talk about yet because you don't know it. There's a reveal about this moment in the fucking Brandon Sanderson conversation that we're going to get to next week. I hate it, but we'll get to it next week. Glenn Peterson, thank you for that super chat. Right. The transmogrification between Rand and Morden are due to the Saidin Balefire touching, True Power Balefire touching in a Crown of Swords.
Yes, that's what we have been told.
Yes, I don't really see how that lets them switch bodies at the end, but whatever. We'll get to my opinion on what happens in the end in a second.
Yeah.
Perrin and Lanfear is like, we can kill them, and then we can give the world to the Dark One, and whatever. And so Perrin snaps her neck. The end.
Yeah.
Rand he pulls the Dark One into the real world, which pulls him into the pattern and begins to kill him. Realizes
squishing him.
That's a bad thing to do.
Right, because he was like, "Oh, I saw the vision that I created, and that was maybe not a world I want to live in."
Yeah, and he draws Saidin, Saidar, and the true power. He weaves them not as fire, earth, air, water, whatever, but as just them purely, and he reforges the prison. And he goes, the Dark One wasn't the bad guy. He never was. Yep. And then Moraine, we cut to the final POV of the book before the epilogue, which is Moraine pulling Nynaeve out of the pit of doom. It's so bright they can't see. And she turns around and Rand shrinks away until he vanishes.
No, the darkness shrinks away.
Well, everything. You can't see anything. It like the darkness is like the silhouette of Rand and Morden, right?
Yeah, but Rand is still there.
Yeah, but then it's just light. You can't see anything. She's just blinded by light. It basically, the implication is she doesn't know what happens to Rand because everything goes white. There's no light.
Right. She can't see what's happening. Yeah. Okay. I hear you.
How do you feel about the Dark One isn't the bad guy, he never was? Should I pull up the exact tweet? I might be paraphrasing that a little bit.
Guys, I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to mean after everything else in this series.
Yup. It feels like
It's the Sanshin. The Dark One is not the bad guy all along. It was the Sanshin, actually. Except not.
Here's my question about it. And it gets to... I want to pull up the exact quote of here. He understood finally that the Dark One was not the enemy. It never had been. It feels like the deep point of another series.
Yes,
but
not
this one.
Yeah.
Because that is not what these books have been about. And this is where I get really lost in the ending of Wheel of Time. Is that the conversation between Rand and the Dark One is so much about how choice is paramount.
That is the button on the end of this series. Is that choice is the most important thing. A world without choice is is evil.
Right, but the problem with that, and I think that the problem that the Dark One doesn't bring up, because the Dark One doesn't really make a compelling argument at the end, except that I want to destroy, but the Dark One should, when Rand is like, it's about choice, the Dark One should point at him and go, Rand al'Thor, what the fuck are you talking about? When have you ever had a choice? Yeah. This entire series is just prophecies. This is not a book about the choices that characters make. No, this is a book about Taviran characters who never had a choice.
Yeah.
Running into the prophecies that they've been told are going to happen. Those prophecies happen, and then the series ends.
Well, and the people around the Taviran who don't have choice, and because they get pulled into random shit.
Yeah, and so the oh my God, Slick Jack.
Slick Jack.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the super chat.
Just to celebrate your completion of the books. Thank you. That is very kind. We really appreciate it.
We fucking made it. We did the thing. That's a lot of words that we read.
Yeah. Thank you. It was such an incredible super chat for me to go back on something that I don't like, and that feels weird. But I need to have this conversation because this series is not about characters making choices. It is about characters being Taviraned into prophecies over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And the Dark One at the end doesn't go, what choice are you talking about? Right? And the Dark One doesn't make a compelling argument, and he has one. Yeah. He can point at Rand and say, you've never had a choice.
No, the pattern is the pattern, and you can't do anything about it.
And the Dark One, at so many points in this series, forced people to fight for him without a choice. I would buy the Dark One isn't the problem, it's the people that choose to follow the Dark One argument. Yeah. If the people that followed the Dark One all chose to be there, but the majority of them don't. They're forced to by the magic of the Dark One, which is evil. So the Dark One is the bad guy. You have to stop the magic to give those choices.
Yeah, because the Dark One can literally force people.
And so it gets at the philosophical idea. And I think that this is partially Western writers trying to incorporate a very Buddhist Eastern idea.
Well, because like you said, it feels like an interesting concept, but not for this series. There are plenty of series that explore what fate means.
Yes.
And it's not this one.
And I think that it arrives at a point that I think is a point. It's just not a point. It's not a point that's related to the things that have happened prior to it in this series of novels.
Yeah.
It feels like a profound statement, but it's not a profound statement here. And I don't know how to interact with that. Especially because we if you're going to make your series about the fact that people have to have a choice.
Yes.
For me, the resolution has to be about what choices people make.
Yeah.
And we don't get that in the epilogue, and it drives me crazy.
Our main characters are never given a choice. They are Taviran and are literally strong-armed into whatever the pattern needs them to be. And then on top of that, the people around the Taviran are also strong-armed into being the people that they're supposed to be. Like, when Rand shows up at the White Tower and none of the Aes Sedai can speak to oppose him, they are robbed of that choice.
Yeah.
Right? They because of Taviran, a Taviran at work. It is literally the taking away of the choice. So unless you're saying that Taviran are all part of the Dark One and are evil, which, like, okay, I guess that's a point that you could make. Yeah. Then I don't get it. Glenn Peterson, thank you for that super chat. Should we let the Dark One break the wheel or let the wheel continue to turn? That's the choice of every age.
But it's not. It's a choice of one man.
It's
not.
Rand gets to make that every time. Nobody else knows what's going on, and Rand does not explain it to people.
Rand doesn't share what he learns.
He doesn't tell anyone.
He tells nobody.
Except
except maybe Olivia, because him and Olivia have a conversation at some point. When? Don't know. It's
that's the thing.
It's the problem
let people make an informed choice. Don't let people be like, no, you have to make a choice, but you don't get to know what it means. That's some fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I think that it ultimately, and there are people in the chat who are agreeing with me here, is that it is a very Eastern concept, but the narrative leading up to it is not inspired. The wheel is very Eastern concept inspired, right? But the actual, like, actions of our character are not. And so it is the problem, I think, and ultimately what this book runs into is the concept of God and Satan, which is very Western, and the concept of the wheel and free will, which is very not, right?
Right. Yeah.
And you kind of have this issue of trying to force the Eastern idea of enlightenment and the wheel and rebirth and regeneration into a system that has a God and a devil.
Well, and because a lot of those specific systems are, if you don't make the right choices, you're going to hell.
Yes.
Like, that's that takes away the choice to be good. If you believe that if you make the wrong choices, there is eternal damnation waiting for you at the end of it, then those choices don't fucking matter, because they're all in service of a selfish desire to, like, live on in heaven or whatever the fuck it is. And so, when you mix those two ideologies, they really, like, butt up against each other and they do not work. And I've talked about the concept of why now before in a lot of our reactions and in the clips of why you tell a story in this moment.
Yeah.
What is different about this story? And if the wheel keeps turning, right? If this is another turning of the wheel, and
she's about to say Morden was right, guys. She's about to say Morden was right.
If this happens over and over again, and every 3,000 years or so, people are fucking slaughtered so that they can make the choice again. Why? Yeah. Why tell this story with Rand? What does Rand do differently that hasn't been done before? Because the world still exists. The wheel still exists. The wheel keeps on turning. So what choice did Rand make that was different? Why now? Why this story? Why this turning of the wheel? I don't know, and I couldn't tell you. Yeah. It just seems to be the same thing over and over again. And to me, that's not very interesting. I want to know what Rand did different. I want to know why this turning of the wheel is different. I want to know what this one changes. And it doesn't change anything according to the end of this book. Yeah.
Which is fine. I'm more okay with that, right? I'm more okay with the purpose is to keep living. Because sure. I'm of a mind of like, but
that doesn't, but this is no different than the last time this happened.
Well, and it gets into, well, let's get into the epilogue.
Sure.
Colonel Sanders,
thank you. We appreciate that super chat. We have to remember RJ wrote the story to explore the concept of a small town boy being selected
just a small town girl
fate to be the savior of the world and what happens
being
to him.
selected by fate to
which
be
is like
the
fair, but that is
savior
fate,
of the
that is not
world
choice,
and what happens to him.
It is not about it. This series does not want to be about fate. The series wants to be about the choices, and so having those two concepts butt up against one another, I just don't think works very well.
Ildwam, thank you for joining the Nargs. What a ride. Been with you since section 1 of Eye of the World. Thanks for giving me incentive for my first full reread, but I'd also love a Tyshar Canada. Okay, Tyshar Canada, and never go full Gawain.
Never go full Gawain. Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Welcome
Jeffrey
back to the
T,
table.
I appreciate you for agreeing with me. There is definite disconnect between the thesis statement of the series and the plot line that is supposed to support it. That is the issue.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. What could have turned this all around for me, honestly, was if the epilogue and this is the thing. I had that issue going into the epilogue.
Yes.
That was where I started the epilogue. Was like, I was like, agree with
fuck?
the way this is mixing two theologies into, not theologies, but two ideologies into one point that I don't think quite connects for this series. But if the epilogue really gets into the choices that humans make in the aftermath of tragedy, it could work for me.
Yes.
So let's get into the choices humans make in the aftermath of tragedy.
0.
To see the answer.
0.
Rand
carries Moradin out, right? Out of the tunnel, and it closes. And Nakomi shows up, and she's like, "Good job, good job." Well done.
The crater in this world is a nightmare.
Yeah. She's something. And he's like, "Oh, I asked Eilfin the wrong question. What did he ask Eilfin again?" So I'm like,
I don't remember.
I need to be reminded of that, because...
Wait, does that happen on page? I don't think it does. I don't think we see him ask that Eilfin.
The Eilfin...
No, we watch him come back through the door, but I don't think we see his scene in there.
I thought we all watched Matt come back through the door.
No, we see Matt's scene with the Eilfin.
That was literally so long ago that I'm like... Yeah, if you know what... we don't know. Okay, cool, great.
Yeah, we don't know what Rand asked. He just asked the wrong question. All we know is that whatever it was wrong.
Great, love that. Love that.
And he's like, the choice is what matters. Okay, so we're going to skip ahead a little bit.
Oh, why?
Because the choice is what matters.
Skip ahead.
Gideon's point of view. Gideon wakes up and then is made into a slave.
Yep.
In the same chapter where Rand says the point of life is that the choice is what matters. Guys, I can't believe the Sanshin end this book as the strongest force in Randland.
That's why it doesn't matter. The end.
I know.
This is why what Rand does not fucking matter, because the Sanshin are out here taking away people's free will and choice.
And like,
if the Gideon section was just lifted out of this, I'd be like,
I would appreciate the ending more. I would appreciate the ending more.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yes.
Because
absolutely.
The Gideon getting collared as a punishment for being evil in the same chapter where the hero is told that, or where the hero realizes that choice is what is important.
Yep.
It just doesn't work. It doesn't like becoming the Dark One as a people doesn't work with the, it's just tough. It is tough. And I really wish
it was not there.
I just wish that Mogi POV was not here, because I don't like the epilogue even without it. I think that it is just kind of it's kind of bland and small-minded given the scope of the series. And I think that a series this large should have an epilogue that is about the world and not about one person.
I agree, yes.
The epilogue becomes too much about Rand and not about Randland.
And also Rand does not matter in the epilogue at all.
Yeah, I really do think that, like...
Yeah.
I really do think that the ending we get from Matt, the Sanshin, Tuon, and Mogideon is very strange.
Yes. Yes.
Nasenko says, Mogideon chose to be a dark friend. Yes. Yeah, and that doesn't mean she should be a slave.
Yeah.
This is my point.
Yeah. Taking away agency is not something that one human should do to another human.
Mm-hmm.
That's the line. That's the line.
Yes.
In case it wasn't clear.
So, Rand, I guess this is where Rand and Morden switch bodies. I don't really know, but whatever.
Yeah.
So Matt, sees Pat and Fane's corpse rot away. He, sees the dagger, has a moment where like that, I love this. This was a great, this was my favorite moment in the epilogue. Because even after all this time, Matt is a different person. He's died. He's come back. There's all this shit going on with Matt. He's a wildly different character, right?
Yep.
This is the story of addiction, and it's such a nice, obviously tragic, and like I feel bad for anyone who is dealing with addiction and fighting against their addictions. It is so hard. Yep. But to acknowledge that in this moment with Matt, where he sees the dagger one more time and he has that itch to go back to it, and he chooses not to.
Yep.
Powerful. Like, I wish this was Matt's final moment.
Mm-hmm.
Everything after this I hate. I wish this was Matt's final moment.
Yeah.
I just do, because this should have been his finale. fuck all the Sanchin shit. Cut it out and end with Matt having the chance to pick up the dagger again and choosing not to.
Yep.
It is the culmination of his character. Don't worry. It keeps
Which
going.
is why, like, I guess, like, they had to shoehorn Pat and Fane in there somewhere for this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And so that kind of almost makes it work, but, like, him getting there and doing nothing is kind of still blah, blah, blah. But the Matt moment for this is great. Yeah. It's really good.
Perrin is walking around. He's looking for his wife. And he kind of, this is where we kind of hear that, like, Rand is dying. He's in a tent. Moradin is there.
Also dying.
Moradin is also dying.
Yeah.
And he sees Lan, who tells him that Oliver was the last Sifail. And so he goes to the field of Marilor.
Yeah.
We cut to Loyal.
who is trying to write his book. The Wheel of Time.
I was like, Loyal, did you ever care for any of these people?
Yeah, it's not like, oh, Perrin, your wife might be dead. That's unfortunate. So anyways, tell me in detail.
Loyal
does not get it.
Loyal's lack of empathy here is surprising.
Yeah.
It kind of comes out of... Because he's such an empathetic
Carrie.
Carrie.
He is the epitome of being hasty in this moment.
Yeah. And I was just like, dude, like, your friends just died.
Yeah.
Like, and are dying.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just kind of was like, I didn't like this.
Yeah, it was weird.
I felt weird, and I reread it, and I felt really weird about Loyal having no compassion here.
Yeah.
Because Loyal in the past has been very emotional. And maybe this is a trauma response, and maybe I should read it that way, as like, Loyal is feeling so many things that he's doing this to not feel things. But it comes off as very glib about... There's
no, like, mention of that. There's no, like, feelings. There's no feelings that Loyal suppresses. Yeah. If someone was watching Loyal going around and do this and being like, and he had a sad look behind his eyes or something like that, where, like, yeah, this was, like, dealing with the fact that he just fought a fucking war and survived and all these people are dead, it'd be great. But we get his perspective. There's no mention of him feeling any emotions, of him, like, feeling the empathy for the other people. It is literally just, I need to write my book.
Of him being like, hundreds of Ogier just died for the first time in 1,000 years.
Yeah.
The Ogier just rode to war, and a lot of them died.
Yeah.
Like, Loyal should be shocked. Loyal's probably never seen an Ogier die in a fight before. Before the last month.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. It just feels like it was meant to be comedy. And I don't think it worked.
Well, Robert Jordan, famously really good at comedy. His comedy has never really worked for us.
So Dahmer and Nynaeve are talking, and Dahmer's like, Loyal overhears him. He's like, it's really weird that Avienda, Elaine, and Min don't seem to worry.
Yeah, wow, they should be really upset, but they're just chilling.
And so Loyal talks to Avienda for a second, and then leaves. Matt goes to see Tuon, who's like, hey, I'm pregnant.
And Matt
is like, well, then I can leave. And Tuon's like, no, now I can kill you unless you behave better. And Matt's like, great, I have to behave better now. Cool. And then Matt's like, I have a gift for you. And he sets off fireworks above a battlefield where people are traumatized.
Yeah, the PTSD of this moment. Like we know that war veterans, a lot of them are set up, like their trauma is brought up by fireworks, and Matt is like, we just ended a battle. I'm gonna make everybody fucking think that the Dark One's back and is just shooting fucking fireballs by setting off a bunch of fireworks. And I was like, why?
But also without warning, these people are picking through the corpses of their friends, trying to find people alive, and suddenly explosions go off.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
This scene should have been like 100,000 swords were pulled from scabbards as people turned towards
like,
combat.
Oh my god, the fucking Dark Friends are back. The Dreadlords are here. They're coming to kill us. The Sharans have returned. Like, what the fuck?
I just was like...
Why would you do that?
This was particularly surprising to me because Robert Jordan is a veteran.
Yeah!
And I want to be really clear. One of the craziest things in America to me is that on Memorial Day, people set off fireworks, even though fireworks, we know, because veterans keep fucking telling us, set off their PTSD.
Yeah.
Like, the number of vets that I have met in my life who are like, I don't celebrate Memorial Day outside. I either go to the woods where I'm in the middle of nowhere, or I go to bed with earplugs in.
Yeah.
Because the fireworks freak me the fuck out.
Yeah.
And so because Robert Jordan wrote most of the epilogue, I would have thought that he would have
been sensitive to that, maybe?
Yeah, I would have thought that he would have been sensitive to that.
Yeah.
And it just seems like the kind of thing that Robert Jordan, as a man, would know is an issue in the veteran community.
Yeah.
And so it just felt really out. And knowing that about Robert Jordan made it feel even more out of place here to me.
Yeah. 100%.
And maybe that's unfair, but like it did feel super weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but it's not about the guns. It's about the literal explosions of the power, right? The power, it sounds like explosives going off. And it has been, they have been exploding for hours and hours and hours and hours throughout this battle.
I love Sean being like, hey, Aludra, I need a firework display for my wife, the Empress of the Sanch and your mortal enemies. You'll do it for her, right?
Yeah, you're gonna help me with that, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Matt does not deserve Aludra. Let's be honest.
Yeah, this is a weird scene. It's tough.
Yeah.
Perrin goes and tries to find Fail for a while. Then we cut to the Gideon thing that like is rough. Then we cut to Nynaeve. Nynaeve is the only person in this fucking epilogue who's behaving like a rational. No, Tam has emotions, but Nynaeve is the only person whose POV we get. Oh, I guess we get Tam's later.
Yeah.
Tam and Nynaeve are the only characters treating this like the epilogue.
Yeah.
Nynaeve is very upset. She's like, hey, girls, what the fuck is going on? Why don't you care?
Yeah, and she's like, Avienda, you can't run away from me because you don't have legs.
Which is so fucking weird.
I know.
This epilogue is so not compassionate towards its characters.
I know.
Nynaeve is there like, you ain't got no legs, girl. You can't leave me.
I was like, wow, everyone fucking hates
What is happening?
I know.
In the aftermath of the last battle, they're trying to go to war with each other's emotional souls.
Yeah, it's
Nicholas Cardillo, thank you for the super chat. Nerdy's mad because the Pink Aja doesn't exist. The Pink Aja is never more necessary than in this fucking epilogue.
Right fucking now.
Can you imagine running up to someone the day they lost their legs?
Yeah, being like, you can't run away from me.
You can't leave. I'm gonna torture you, maybe? What the fuck is wrong with Nynaeve?
I don't know. Definitely gonna give her a spanking.
Having said that,
you know there's a spanking.
Nynaeve is behaving the way I kind of expect her to.
Yeah.
She's losing it.
Yeah.
Shit's crazy. She's behaving as if she just got out of a long, last battle.
Yes.
And so I actually
Which is hilarious because Nynaeve was the one inside the tunnel.
Yeah. Trying to keep Alana alive for the last 12 hours.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then watching Alana die in her arms and then watching Rand grab the Dark One. Nynaeve has been through some shit.
Yeah.
Her emotional state to me is where everybody should be at right now. Found that game. Thank you for the super chat. You ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Nynaeve.
Oh my god. Yeah.
This was wild. Okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
People are saying that like the power was not used widely in the war. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't
Fireworks
matter.
aren't used widely in this world. So for these people, there's just suddenly
sudden explosions just went off.
Once the fireworks explode in the sky, yes. But when you set off fireworks, the first thing you hear is a loud pop.
Yeah.
No. It's the explosion at the bottom first.
Well.
And you hear a loud pop, and people start to freak the fuck out. And then it pops at the top, and then there's light. But nobody knows that this is coming. And so everybody on this field just hears what sounds like cannon fire.
Yeah. They're like, oh, are we fighting again?
They would freak the fuck out.
It's wild.
So Nynaeve is like trying to get stuff out of them, but they're not telling her shit.
Yeah. They're like, I don't know.
And Avienda's like, Rand woke from the dream in greatness, and it must be celebrated in
Love
greatness.
that for him.
Whatever. So Avienda's like, we're gonna celebrate. We're gonna make a funeral pyre for Rand.
Yeah.
Perrin is running through the wolf dream, bopping out, trying to find Fail. Despite the fact that it's a fucking nightmare. His nose is so good. And I said this in the audiobook reaction. I was like, it should just smell awful. He should just smell like the overpowering stench of death.
Yeah.
But much like Geralt of Rivia, he smells lilac and gooseberries.
Yes, exactly. At all times.
Her.
His Witcher senses tingle. And he's good.
And he takes her to Nynaeve. And Perrin does find Fael.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, but in the dream, he sees a falcon in the dream world. I thought for a second that I thought this would actually be kind of a cool ending for them, was that Fael was going to be a falcon in the dream world, and Perrin was going to give up being a human and go be a wolf with his falcon in the dream world, and that they were going to give up the real world together. But no, she's just fine.
Yep, she's good. She's good.
Because everybody's just kind of fine here. Brigitte says goodbye. She's like, hey, I sent Oliver away with the horn so that you wouldn't be tempted to use that little boy as a weapon.
Yeah, and Elena's like, you know what? Thanks for saving me from that.
Kind of, but I was kind of like, hey, like, actually, the Sanchin need to be dealt with. Maybe keeping them would have been a good thing.
Yeah, can we have Arthur Hawkwing just kill all his descendants, please?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. It's, it was an interesting moment between Elaine and, like, Brigitte, for sure, to have that.
Yeah, it was good.
That, like, goodbye. It's sad. She's like, I'm being reborn, and Brigitte does get this resolution, which, thank God, because when she was, like, murdered, I was like, oh my God, we don't resolve this. This is so sad. I'm glad it all came around. It works. I do love Brigitte's, story here.
The other part of this that I find very interesting is that Gaidal was born like a year ago. That's why he wasn't at the last battle. And I think that is hilarious that this ends with Brigitte being like, I'm coming out of a womb right now, Elaine. I'll see you in life. Gaidal was just like a 1-year-old baby during the last battle.
Well, we don't know when Gaidal...
Apparently, it's since she got spun out. Because Gaidal was in Tel'aran'rhiod with her.
Oh,
so it's
okay.
since she got Gideoned out of the pattern.
Okay, cool. Okay. I thought she says that he'll only be a few years younger than him.
Yeah, which is why I still think it's over, but everyone keeps telling me it's not over, but I think it's over, and I think that
it makes sense
Tel'aran'rhiod just timeline-wise works differently than whatever.
Sure, yeah.
Glenn Pearson, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you, Glenn.
All 3 of these last 3 books feel rushed, like they should have been through 3 more editing passes. I agree.
Yeah, I agree. The ending is very rushed.
So Brigitte is like, I'm gonna go be with Gaidal.
Okay.
Do you think the other heroes of the Horn make fun of Gaidal for missing the last battle?
Oh, 100%.
Do you think when they have like their meetings in Tel'aran'rhiod, they're like, oh man, God, we like fucked up the Dark One so bad, and you were shitting in a diaper.
Yeah, you fucking missed it. Your mom was wiping your ass.
How is being a little poopy butt and your little diaper during the last battle, Gaidal?
Yeah.
Just making fun of him forever over it.
That's actually very funny.
I still think it's over, personally, but...
Yeah, that's my headcanon.
And then, like, the timey-wiminess of it makes it doesn't matter.
Yeah, let me have it.
We cut to Tam.
And Tam has probably the best section of this. It's kind of ruined by everybody else's actions.
By everyone knowing that his son is actually alive.
Yeah.
We're just going to end the books by gaslighting Tam into believing that Rand is dead, even though he's not.
He's not. Tam lights Rand's funeral pyre and is like, everyone would have liked to be here for this, but too bad, so sad.
No. He's like, literally everyone on Earth thinks they should have been there for this.
Yeah, I know.
There are some people that should have been there for that aren't, because, like, Matt's not there, which is weird.
Yeah.
We
don't see Matt and Perrin there.
The fact that we don't really get resolutions for those characters together is very strange.
Like, Matt is such a shitty garbage friend to Rand, and then Rand dies, and Matt is like, fireworks!
I'm gonna be a good slave husband.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't love it. I wish that this was less about, like, the tricking people into thinking Rand is not alive, and more about these characters talking with each other and, like, commiserating together.
Yeah.
I wish they did high-low together and, like, celebrated each other's highs and commiserated over each other's lows.
Yeah, for sure.
I wish these characters, especially the Emmons Field 5, I wish we got them being kind to each other at the end together.
Yeah.
And not Nynaeve, like, threatening Avienda because she doesn't have legs.
Egwene is dead, so she can't be there, but...
Right, but, like, there's no grief for her.
No.
There's, like, a mention that there's going to be a giant funeral for her, but, like, we don't see Nynaeve really grieve Egwene.
We don't see Rand grieve her when he walks fucking away at the end.
We don't, but we also don't see, like, we don't see Moiraine grieve Swan.
No.
Like, that is so weird to me.
No, we don't see Moiraine at all, except
Elaine,
to be like, good boy, Rand.
Elaine and Morghese do not grieve the loss of Galad and Gawain.
No. Well, Galad's still alive.
They don't know, maybe they know that. But, like, I really wanted Elaine to, like, grieve the loss of Egwene and her brother.
Yeah, Elaine loses her brother and, and Rand is, like, dying and she's like, oh, no, it's fine. No, she fucking lost her brother and does not give a fuck.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah.
Because we get Min's point of view next. And Min is there and she's like, she knew this would come. We need to, the three girls all feel Rand in their head. We need to convince everybody that he's actually gone. And the way that they're doing that is by not pretending that they're upset that he's gone.
Yeah.
Which is so, if you're getting together and you're like, we need to convince everyone that we are heartbroken, that our bonded warder is gone.
Yeah.
They should
and
be
the love
losing
of our
their shit.
lives.
And they're like, nah, everything's fine.
Like, it's all good. We're just gonna pretend to be sad. Oh, boo-hoo. I'm sick. They literally mention that people need to believe that Rand is dead, and they do a fucking terrible job of it.
Like, just pretend to be
for
sad.
a bit.
Or instead of pretending to be sad that Rand is dead, be actually sad that all of the other people you love are dead, and just be sad. And then people wouldn't feel weird about the fact that you're sad, but everyone is suspicious that Rand isn't dead. Nynaeva's like, you guys know something's up because you're being fucking weirdos about it. But in Min's head, she's like, we've got to convince everyone. We've got to convince everyone. And nobody's convinced because they're all like, why are you being so fucking weird?
Yeah, they're so casual. Carla, thank you for that super chat. We get one on-page answer to Rand's Finn questions.
This is the Ilfin. In book says he asks how he can survive the last battle. If you would live, you must die. Oh, that's right.
If you would live, you must die. Sure, yeah.
Bazamian says the reason for that disjointedness is that RJ obviously meant to deal with all those matters before the epilogue, which would be fine.
Yeah.
But that just isn't what we get, right?
Yeah, it's not. It's like really...
Mm-hmm.
It is so disappointing.
Roger Lai says Moraine not being in the epilogue is really a bummer.
I have genuinely...
Why is Swain given that moment and not Moraine?
I have been fucking depressed all week because the ending of this book let me down so hard.
It's true. Clarus really, it's been a weird week for us.
It's been a fucking struggle. Genuinely. And I have loved so much about this series and these characters, these books, the community, everything. That this, I feel fucking betrayed. I have genuinely been so upset because I wanted this book club to be so hype. And there were things that we talked about the rest of it, the things that we love. There is so much here to enjoy, and it falls so flat that I just want to fucking cry. I have never been burned by someone so hard in my life. It's truly tragic. Cause Rand wakes up in Morden's body and it's like, interesting. Oh, I got some clothes. Thank you, Olivia.
Okay. But when did he talk to Olivia?
Great question.
Because
no idea.
This implies
not a clue.
This implies that Rand's plan all along was to go
the whole time
and take Morden's body.
Yeah.
That he planned, but his plan.
He stole his body.
Involved him knowing that he was going to beat the Dark One in this very peculiar way that would involve him getting to steal Morden's body in the end. Yeah. Which means that he knew that Morden was going to be there.
Yeah, he knew Morden was going to be there. He knew the Calendar thing would work. He knew that he could steal his body.
Because he had to speak to Olivia prior to the last battle.
Yes.
Which means that he planned all of this out a month and a half ago. But literally.
Well, for them, yeah, because they've been fighting for
the last
forever.
time he saw Olivia was a month and a half ago for her.
We saw him see Olivia.
No, because he's in Shao Ghul for a month.
Is it that long?
Or something. Or it's at least weeks. But before that, she was already fighting in Thakandar. Yeah. Before he went in.
Oh, and time is moving quicker there.
So
I actually don't know. Yeah.
So Rand and Olivia had a conversation forever ago.
Yeah.
And then Gregory Love says, I think it's more so Rand woke up earlier when Olivia was in the room and asked her off page. No, because he wakes up in this moment and realizes he's in Morden's body.
Yeah, he doesn't know he's in Morden's body before.
We see the moment here where he realizes he's in Morden's body, where he looks in the mirror.
Yeah, he doesn't realize it and he's like, oh wow, cool. This is the first time he has woken up. That would be a really weird bait and switch for the person who it's their perspective.
It's just so, and here's the thing, I really liked everything up until Logain's moment this week. And I don't Logain's moment in that chapter. I was really on board with the ending of the book up until Logain's moment, is what I'm trying to say. This week's reading. I felt
What's wrong with Logain's moment?
No. That was the...
including.
Including.
I was like, what? it.
I was like, we started the reading off this week so strong. And I was like, oh, I think I'm going to like the end of this book.
Yeah, I was like, fuck yeah, let's go.
And then as it went on, I was like, into it. Logain's moment, I was great. Everything after that, I really don't like. And I feel so much pressure to like it because this is our show. We've been doing this for 2 years.
Yeah.
We've spent the amount of time and energy we have put into these series. And I like actively hate the epilogue. I really do. I'm sorry. I know there are people who love it. I know there are people who love the way this ends. I hate this epilogue. I hate so much about it. I hate what it does to so many of our characters. I hate the slavery moment. I hate the like kind of confusing the Eastern philosophy moment and then going into the slavery moment from there.
Cat Swain gets to be the new
Cat
Amerlin
Swain gets
Seed.
to be the fucking Amerlin Seed, which undoes everything Egwene did, which is why I say Egwene's arc wasted. Egwene's whole arc is wasted because Cat Swain is not going to respect the wise ones. She's not going to respect the sea folk and the agreements that she put in place to like do the like student swap. The like studying abroad shit is not going to happen under Cat Swain. Cat Swain is a fucking terrible Amerlin because she's so up her own ass about her very small way she sees the world. And guess what? We know she's wrong because Rand won in spite of her. She was a negative that pushed Rand and he was like, oh, I'm not going to do it her way. And he won because he looked at her and was like, nah, that is the wrong way to get there.
Yeah.
He learned from her in her failure.
Yeah.
Because she thought her methods would work and they didn't. They actually pushed him the other direction. And like, I'm just so concerned that like...
And there's also 7 Aiel left. Like...
There's no Aiel.
Yeah.
Like, they've all died. So
They're all dead.
Are the Shido going to be the police in the next world? Like, are they going to bring the Shido back to be the police officers in the Dragon's Peace?
Yeah.
Also, Rand signed up... Okay, we need to get into this. The Rand signed up 100 years of women in Randland to guaranteed slavery, right?
And then walks away from it. Yeah.
And he, like...
He just leaves.
He...
Sucks to be them. I guess they get to be slaves for 100 years.
And then he's riding up the hill at the end being like, I'm going to go on a vacation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, no, you fucked up really bad. You have to go solve shit.
Hawaii.
Also, Rand, you're a fucking dad. Yeah. Rand does not bring up his children.
Oh Rand is like, I wonder which one of my bitches I'm going to fuck. And it's like,
one of them is 8 months pregnant.
You have children. And he's like, I'm just going to go take a nap.
The fact that Rand isn't like, oh, hey, I need to go be a dad to my kids is the craziest. He had the best dad. Tam is the best dad.
Tam is so disappointed right now. If Tam knew what Rand was doing, and Tam doesn't. Rand is like, my father.
There's a reason they don't tell Tam, because Tam be like, what the fuck are you doing? Go be a dad.
Where are you going? You have children. You know what it's like to grow up without a mom. Why would you let your kids grow up without a dad?
Yes.
Why?
Oh my god, I hate it so much.
This is the hero of our story who's like, kids? Nah, I don't know him. Never heard of him.
So Cat Swain gets the moment, before she becomes Amerlin Seat, Cat Swain gets the moment where... Cat Swain gets the moment to see Rand is still alive. Should have been Moiraine. Why wasn't it Moiraine?
Yeah, put Moiraine in there instead.
Nobody fucking cares about Cat Swain. Cat Swain sucks. I have a t-shirt that says Cat Swain sucks, and I stand by that in every fiber of my being. I fucking hate Cat Swain. Cat Swain gets this moment, and then she gets to be the Amerlin. It's bullshit. It literally should be Nynaeve.
Or Moiraine. Look, like, I don't know if Moiraine would, like, want to be the Amerlin, but at least she feels like someone who,
no, actually, I know who it is.
Rand learned from.
No.
What?
Pavara.
Pavara!
It should be Pavara. Pavara is the red that overcame... No, it's perfect.
Yes.
Pavara is the red
Pavara redeems the
overcame
Reds.
her bullshit,
Yeah.
ties them to the Black Tower.
Yeah, she redeems
You would have
them.
an actual reconciliation between the White Tower and the Black Tower because Androl is the best of the Black Tower.
They have a connection.
It should have been fucking Pavara.
Yeah.
She's open-minded. She caught the Black Aja. She literally rooted the Black Aja out of the White Tower while Cat Swain was fucking around doing whatever she wanted.
Yeah.
Pavara should have been the Amerlin seat.
Yes.
Because she actually, like, would be good at it.
Yes.
And Cat Swain won't. Like, this world is so fucked because the Sanshin don't get fucked up in the last battle, so they have the best army on the planet.
Yeah.
They're collaring women because they might not be Aes Sedai, so they're breaking their rules already with Gideon, right? It's not like they know she's not Aes Sedai, they just think she might not be.
No, they're like, you look suspicious. And that's it. That's their fucking base. You don't have a ring, could have lost it, and you look sus.
And Cat Swain is gonna fight them because Cat Swain is a fucking brute force woman.
Yeah.
So the world is, and I said this in the epilogue, the world's gonna be at war in 10 years, with easily, because Cat Swain is not going to tolerate the Sanshin. She's gonna go to war with them, and And she should. That I'm kind of okay with. But she's also
yeah.
going to destroy the White Tower.
Fell Night Gaming, thank you for that super chat. Rand left the Two Rivers for milk and never came back.
Literally.
Yep.
Rand deserves a break, so I'm not faulting him. You can take a break without gaslighting your father into thinking that you're dead.
You're dead.
And all of your friends. And, like, you trusted Moiraine and Nynaeve enough to take them into Shire Ghul, but not to tell them you're still alive?
Yeah.
What?
How?
How does that make sense?
How? Like, I don't...
You gave them the power of Kalador to wield over you. You trusted them that much, but you're like, but they can't know that I'm still alive. Like, this doesn't make any fucking... None of this works.
Yeah.
And Rand riding up the hill being like, I don't know if I'm ever going to see any of them again.
I hope one of them follows me.
Oh my God. Rand, dude, go be a husband and go be a father. That's all you have to do with the rest of your life. But no, he can't because he's God.
No, he's literally, that's what I mean. He literally turns into the creator and is like, I don't have responsibilities anymore. And look, I called it earlier in the series. I was like, I think Rand is going to get to live a normal life, right? He's going to not be able to touch the source anymore, which, wrong. Mm-hmm. He's the fucking creator now, so it doesn't matter. But I was like, I love the idea that Rand can, like, can live out a normal life. Be a dad, help people out, like, use his influence for something good because he is literally throwing away the opportunity to change the world. And this is why I said this turning the wheel doesn't fucking matter because Rand just leaves. He doesn't tell anybody what he's learned. He lets them think he's all dead and he fucks all the way off. And I'm like, okay, well then this does matter. This series does matter. I'm like, okay, why are you telling the story? Why are you doing it now? No reason. Rand's just gonna go fuck off. Gonna go see some mountains, vacation in Hawaii, and leave his loved ones behind. Leave the world in fucking shambles. Leave these women in slavery. And it's like, not my monkeys, not my circus. Like
Rand, like Avienda lost her legs.
Yeah.
And Rand doesn't check on her.
No.
He doesn't take care of the people he says he loves, which is why the romances in this story, the only one that is
romance.
The only good romances,
Pavar and Androl, because
and Fane and Perrin.
They get redeemed. We had a lot of
No,
issues.
they have a tough beginning,
yes.
But I think that I know people who had rough beginnings in their relationships.
Yeah.
I know people where, like, one of them cheated on the other, and they ended up in a really strong relationship afterwards.
Sure.
I think having a shitty beginning to a relationship doesn't make your whole relationship bad.
Yeah.
If you work together and learn to communicate. I think that Perrin and Fael are really well-written romance, honestly, at the end. And the fact that at the end of the last battle, she's all he cares about, Rand should feel the same way about his three women, but he does not.
I want to say, Samantha A., thank you so much for that super chat. I always say Rand is a deadbeat dad. Yeah. He also knocked up Avienda, his disabled wife with triplets, apparently. Yeah, he doesn't just have 2 kids. He has 5. He has 5 children. And you know what? Min also might be pregnant. The seed seems to be very strong with Rand over here. But, like, he literally walks away, and there's never any mention of, like, I'm gonna let them sort stuff out and then I'm gonna come back and I just need a moment for myself. There's never any of that. He's like, wow, I have so much time. I can all see the time in the world. Yeah, I literally don't have to worry about anything.
Hannah Green says, Rand doesn't matter. It's about everyone else. It isn't. The epilogue isn't about anybody else. That's the problem. That's why I don't like it. Is that I don't want it to be about Rand. I wanted Rand to die.
Yeah.
And I wanted the epilogue to be about the world after him. Yeah. And instead, the epilogue is so centered on him.
Oh, yeah. Avienda has 4 kids. Sorry. He has 6 children that he's abandoning.
The epilogue, this series is so wide in scope. It's so massive, and that is so fun, and it's unique because of that.
Yeah.
And in its final moment, instead of staying wide in scope and being about the world, it narrows so much down to just Rand wanting to gaslight his family into thinking that he's dead and fucking off.
Make the epilogue about everybody else then. I would love that. Caleb, thank you for that super chat. Right Hand Man, Wheel Time parody already on YouTube. Oh, God, I love that. But yeah, I want to agree with you here because I wanted the epilogue to be about everybody else.
Yeah.
I want to see Moiraine grieve Swan.
Zesty Kurdon says, abandoning 5 kids would have been fine, but 6? Literally one too many.
That's the line. That's the line.
Nicholas Cardio, think about that super chat. Rand goes to start the patriarchy in this new age.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm just kidding.
Apparently,
anywhere else I'd be a 10.
But, like, I want to see Moiraine grieve Swan, right? I want to see the, like, Emond's Field and the Aes Sedai grieve Egwene, who literally fucking, like, saved them. And, like, they don't have a moment. I want to see how Elaine feels about Gawain. But she doesn't. Because she's literally there just chilling.
I want to know what
Lan
feels about being the king of Malkyr again.
Oh, yeah.
Not just wearing the crown. I want to know how he feels about it.
Yeah.
I want to know what I want to know what Aerith and Loial are feeling. This epilogue is so external to the emotional experience of the characters at the end of this massive journey they've been on.
Yeah.
And that is what's missing. There's no real emotion here except from Tam. Mm-hmm. And that to me I think is why it was disappointing and why I felt so let down by it was that like I wanted to weep. I wanted like the
I wept for Tam. I did. I was
didn't cry.
Well, no, we reacted to it, so I didn't. But like that was the only really emotional moment. Yeah. Was Tam. I feel so bad for him. It's so unfair. Like and that's why I'm like I don't get it.
It's crazy. People are saying that Moraine isn't really in it because Robert Jordan didn't leave any notes for Sanderson to do things with. Which is disappointing. And like, look, here's the thing. I also don't think that I don't think Brandon Sanderson did a bad job. I think that like I think that the disappointment in this is in the fact that it came about the way that it did. And so we don't actually know what this is supposed to be because Brandon Sanderson was just doing his best to, and this isn't me being like, Brandon Sanderson is a bad writer. It's that I think that the way that this book happened led to it not really working. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think that it ultimately comes down to an ending that, while I wish I loved, I don't. And
there's so much up to the ending that I love, but the ending does not stick the landing.
And while I know there's supposed to be Outrigger novels, there won't be. So like that doesn't matter. This is where the Sanchin leaves off.
Yeah.
And I think that given the Brandon Sanderson wrote 3 books with a hand tied behind his back. And I think that what he did was good enough that I want to read Brandon Sanderson now, right? Like,
for sure.
I'm really enamored with the way his brain works and that stuff. But here, like, I just wanted to be left with like, I don't know. I just wanted to be left with something. And I was left with just kind of like, why this?
Depression. That's what I was left with.
Well, yeah.
Literal depression.
It's tough.
Yeah.
And it exists, and I'm hopeful that the TV show can write a better ending and make this make more sense emotionally. I'm worried that the TV show's not going to get there.
Yeah.
But the epilogue, it's rough, and I think that I think that the epilogue just doesn't. It's almost like the epilogue doesn't understand what this series was.
Well, and that's kind of the problem because Robert Jordan wrote this epilogue without anything leading up to it because that was all. Mostly, Sanderson, and so you really, really do feel that disjointedness, and it is unfortunate that we got an ending, and like that's cool. I don't love it. Clearly.
It's why next week isn't going to be a full book recap. It's going to be a full series recap because I don't want to just talk about A Memory of Light. I didn't really love this book. I think that like of the 3 Sanderson books, this is probably the lowest for me. Gathering Storm is the highest.
Yeah.
And I think that of the books, like this is a middle of the pack book to me. It's not really like a. Yeah, I think that it has some really high highs.
It has definitely some high highs.
If you guys watch the book club, I didn't really like the first half of the book, and I didn't like how it ended.
Yeah,
it's sort of like Fires of Heaven.
Right.
It's around Fires of Heaven for me.
Yeah. This is like the circus. It doesn't fucking matter.
We're not caught up on season 2. We haven't actually seen a single episode of season 2.
We have not watched any of it.
Nerdy Tell Clar's Landfair Secret. Is it something that's worth like watching in the thing, or should I just say what it is?
Didn't you say it's
because I'll just rant for another 10 fucking minutes.
Didn't you say it's like hours long?
I don't know. I haven't watched it yet. I only saw a tweet, so I know what the reveal is, but I don't actually know where it happens in that. I haven't watched the live stream. Watch it. Okay, we'll watch it. We'll talk about it next week.
All right.
Will you have read River of Souls by next week? Sure. Nah, just say it.
Is the River of Souls the other chapter? Excuse me.
There's not much to talk about in Memory of Light. There's some character chapters, but lots of generic battles. Sean, I agree with that. I think that those battles are fun. They're just not against an enemy that I ever really cared about, and I don't ultimately agree with the point that is made about the Dark One.
Yeah.
I think that it's kind of a flawed ideology, and so the ending just doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the story of The Secret is worth it. All right, because I only know The Secret, and I hate it. So if maybe the story of The Secret will make me change my mind about it,
Yeah, okay, we'll look into it.
So Rand is riding up the hill. It does, yeah. He lights his pipe. How do you feel about Rand having a new power right at the end for no reason?
I'm telling you, he's the creator.
Wouldn't it be more interesting if he just couldn't touch the one? Like, wouldn't it be just fine if he couldn't touch the one power?
That's what I said.
Yeah.
That's what I fucking, like, said. I don't even know what book it was. I was like, Rand gets to go off and, like, live a normal life. And then he is kind of relieved a bit of the burden of having to, you know, help those women he left in slavery. Because, like, he can't. He's, like, a normal dude. Yes, he has power. He's, like, influence. And, like, that would be helpful.
If he can convince people he's the dragon.
But he literally has fucking superpowers.
Yeah.
He can do anything, question mark? And then chooses to leave in spite of that. If he didn't have these powers, I think the ending would have definitely worked better for me. But yeah, he can do whatever. He can just manipulate the
power. He can just believe. He's like the orcs in Warhammer 40k.
Sure.
In Warhammer 40k, the orc ships fly because the orcs believe that they can fly.
I do believe in fairies.
No, but that's literally, like, if you can get enough orcs together and get them to believe something together, it happens. It's wild. It's a very fun kind of, like, piece of the lore of Warhammer 40k, is they literally have, like, the magic of belief.
Okay.
And it makes them very fun. They're a very fun, like, playable species in the game because of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rand literally becomes, like, a Warhammer 40k orc.
Okay.
Yeah. He believes things into existence.
The pipe is lit, and so it lights.
Maurique, thank you for that super chat. Sorry you didn't love the ending as much as I did, but as always, I've loved the journey and look forward to what's next. Here's one thing I want to say. I don't regret it. And here's why.
Yeah.
The Shadow Rising is one of the best books I've ever read. Mm-hmm. And I still hold that. And the fact that I don't like the way the series ends, wow! Mal Indio fucking gets it. The fact that I don't like how this series ends, and that, like, I don't really love very much about it after book 6. Like, books 7 through 14, I don't really... I can't say that I love...
Storm is fantastic.
Yeah. The Gathering Storm is more affected by how this ends than book 1 through 6 are. Mm-hmm. I think, ultimately, like, I'll probably read books 1 through 6 again in my life. I'll probably do rereads of those. I don't know that I'll read the rest of the series again. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I'll ever pick up 7 through 15 again. I might read New Spring again. I like New Spring a lot, and it's a bit quicker read. Mm. I'm so grateful we went on this journey because of Shadow Rising and how Shadow Rising felt to me. Mm-hmm. I love Shadow Rising. And the Dragon Reborn, and you know, I'm excited for the show. I've heard so many good things about season 2, and so I don't know. I think for me, like, this journey was worth it, even though we've had a year together.
It's not
that has been a little bit rough.
It's the friends we made along the way, and like that.
That truly is what the Wheel of Time is.
That is literally what the Wheel of Time is. That is what this community is. Like we love book club because we love you guys, like, mm-hmm. and we love this community that we have, and you know, now we can be a part of, like, the full spoilers in the community, like that should definitely not be underestimated, because that means a lot to us, even though, you know, Rand abandoning his children maybe is not how I wanted the series to end.
Here's the thing, I wouldn't mind it so much if he thought about them, but he doesn't even acknowledge that Elaine is pregnant in the POV. Yeah. And that's the weirdest part of me, is that, like, is that I was like, he doesn't even acknowledge that he's a dad.
No.
Which is weird. It's wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
I am excited to play the Trolloc Wars TTRPG that we're going to do, though. Like, you know what I mean?
That'll be
like,
fun.
I think that there are going to be people who are like, oh, so you're just done with the Wheel of Time. You didn't like the ending. You're never going to talk about it again. Fuck no. We're going to do full series recap next week. We're going to keep talking about this shit. Where I want to do my Trolloc Wars game so much.
Yeah.
I love the world, and I love a lot of the ideas, and it was written before Rand knew he was a dad.
Yeah, but it's it's Brandon Sanderson's responsibility.
What the fuck does
that mean? To make sure that the character knows he's a father, because he finds out earlier in the series. So
yeah, I'm excited. I have like the plot mostly figured out of what I want the Trolloc Wars thing that we're gonna do next year to be. Mm-hmm. I'm very excited to DM that.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
The plot I have, and I haven't told Clarice anything because I want her to be surprised.
Yeah.
But the mechanics is what I'm trying to figure out. So that's gonna be fun. Mm-hmm. I've got it. We're probably gonna do that in the spring, summer next year. It's probably gonna be like 4 or 6 parts.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be.
So I'm clearly still loving the world because I want to do a whole thing in it, but. I didn't like the ending. I just didn't. And I've read it a couple times this week. I've thought about it a lot. Blue wants to help with that. Blue, I would love your help with that. Please come be a part of it.
Thank you. That'd be great.
We love you, Blue. You guys can do Wheel of Time Idol this year. I'm absolutely doing Wheel of Time Idol this year.
We're gonna have to go back and watch your other book clubs to see all the ideas we've come up with because I can't remember a single one.
I kind of want to do it separately.
Oh.
I don't know how you feel about this, but I kind of want to introduce separate Wheel of Time Idol songs and compete with each other to see which of us does better.
I think there's only one winner, so if we don't win, if you're not first, you're last kind of thing.
I'm down with that. I kind of want to go head to head. I kind of want to go head to head with you in Wheel of Time Idol next year.
Okay. All right.
Make it a little bit of a mano-y-mano. And my Wheel of Time Idol will be rewriting the entirety of Hamilton and performing it solo.
The whole show?
With harmony, yeah.
The whole show? Okay. Interesting.
How to say I think I'm better than you without saying it? I don't think I'm better than her. I do think that competition is something that we both thrive on, and our relationship is better when we're competing with each other a little bit.
Really? Okay.
I think so a little bit. I think
when have we ever competed against one another?
In conversation. I think we push each other to be better by trying to win a little bit.
Interesting.
A little bit.
I don't know if I've ever tried to win. I think that might just be a you thing.
Cool. Cool.
I'm so sorry. I don't...
There was one letter.
It's fine. We'll ask Sanderson.
Yeah, you're not competitive at all.
I just mean in conversation. All right, fuck off.
How many letters? This got real. It always does. This is the Nerdy, the Wordy, the book club.
Yeah.
There's already been a lot of great Hamilton Wheel of Time Idols, yes, but not the entirety of Hamilton. They covered a song from Hamilton. I'm going to do the 3-hour, the entirety of the Wheel of Time performed as Hamilton songs.
Yeah, is there a time limit on the submissions?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
Awkward moment when you realize your rival wasn't even competing. There were actually 3 letters. Blue, fuck all the way off.
Thank you, Blue.
I'm holding you in my hand, much in the way Rand was holding the dark one.
Yeah, the dark one is actually a unicorn.
I just wish that Rand had shared what he learned with anybody.
Any one of them. And not like a single one of them. Yeah.
Or that the dark one had been like, you didn't have a choice. It was prophecies all along. And Rand would be like, oh yeah, wait, that's true.
That checks out. Yeah.
What was I saying about choice 5 seconds ago?
Oh, man. So many feelings.
I know.
So many things. Yeah, guys, the questions channel is open. So, if you're in the Discord...
Full series. We're talking about it next week.
Full series questions. Yeah. Whatever spoilery stuff, like, that we don't know about, like, share in the Discord, I guess, because there's stuff we gotta read and watch and whatever. So, yeah. Gotta get on that.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
We're gonna do, a full list, I guess.
Been with you guys since season 1, episode 1, but I have also loved the journey. Figured the ending would be rough for you, but I've also enjoyed your favorite moments. Here's the thing. I actually like the ending. I don't like the epilogue.
Right. Right.
I like everything up until the epilogue. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
It's really the epilogue that's the problem.
Yeah. I agree.
The Logain moment is so good.
So good.
Right? Avienda losing her feet. The thing that the last element of being a maiden that she's never really been able to let go of, to be a wise one.
Yeah.
The fact that she gives that up to beat her forsaken enemy is such a fucking great moment. It really is. Mm-hmm. There's great stuff in the ending. It's just that the epilogue is so weird and makes Rand such a weird character right at the end.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do with that, because I really do like it up until the epilogue. It's the epilogue that feels weird.
Yeah,
I honestly wish it had just ended at the Dark One was not the enemy, he never was. I don't think that necessarily works here, but it would have at least just ended on a weird button. Yeah. And it would have cut out the loyal comedy bit of I don't understand emotions, even though I'm an empathetic person earlier in the series. And
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Mega, thank you for being on this crazy journey with us.
Time. Philip says, what would be the minimal change you'd make for the ending that you think would make it work for you? I think the minimal change that I would make is that from the moment on where Rand is telling the Dark One, or where Matt hears Rand in the Dark One, I would have everything else that is said that in that conversation between Rand and the Dark One happen to everybody who is there. And it feels like a major change, but I think it would be minimal in the sense that the conversation is already happening, but everyone hears it. And the book ends with Tuon and Matt having a conversation about what it means for
Free
choice to be important and the Sanchin culture with Hawkwing. I think like the three of them have that conversation. I think that you have Elaine, Avienda, and Min have a conversation with each other about what it means that Rand choice, and have all of them choose to be with him despite everything. I think that you have Moraine, Cad Swain, and like the White Tower people discuss the Black Tower and have some sort of conversation between Logain and the White Tower and about what the White Tower and Black Tower are going to do together moving forward.
Maybe
and
fixing the forcefully bonded people.
You have all of these people come together because of what Rand says to the sky. And then at the end, you have
mimicking book one, kind of.
The epilogue ends, instead of at the funeral pyre, it ends with the girls and Tam like commiserating over Rand's death quietly in a private moment. Perrin and Faile are there, and Rand walks over, and Moradin walks in, and there's a moment where they freak out, and it's Rand, and he is like, I choose to be here with you. He doesn't have the one power, and he just chooses to be there with them and raise his kids. And the way in which he beat the Dark One is seen by everybody, so it influences the way that they live from there on.
Yeah.
And yes, the end of the Fourth Age will come 3,000 years from now, and the Dark One will break out again, and we're going to get there. There will be another last battle. But for this moment, Rand's choices in his fight against the Dark One impact the other characters to be better people in this moment.
Yeah.
Because it is worthwhile, and it will fall apart. We know that it will fall apart. We know that the sequel series is coming, but Darth Vader still takes out Palpatine for 30 years, and we get 30 years of peace.
Yeah.
And my problem with the epilogue is that we don't get one day of peace because the Sanchin are not going to change. They don't know what happened. No one knows what happened. They just know that this fight is over, but they're still going to be bad tomorrow.
Yeah, if what Rand had learned had been learned by all the characters, like that would have just changed so much about the ending here.
Mm-hmm.
Rand just like learns this thing and keeps it to himself and fucks off.
Yeah.
Which doesn't feel very Rand, and it doesn't feel satisfying, and it doesn't feel like the series in a lot of ways. I think that like if one change that would truly change it for the better is if that knowledge was somehow shared between people, and and then I would love to then see how that affects them.
Yeah.
If you left that open-ended because of, the situation around, like, who's writing what, then that is also okay to me. But just leaving every single other person in the dark does not make sense to me. Yeah.
Rustang says, I feel like the rest of the world learning about the interaction with the last battle would kind of break the wheel in itself. It would for a few years, and then people would forget, and it would become myth, and people would move on. And 3,000 years from now, it would all be a story that people told that nobody believes. And so the wheel would continue to turn. And there would be this brief moment at the end of the worst age, right? You have the like build-up ages to the Age of Legends, and then you get the worst age, the age after the Age of Legends, where things are the worst that they can be.
Yeah.
And then at the beginning of the next series of ages, because this is really the end of the wheel, and the wheel, this is the worst way. This is the worst it could be, right? This is the last battle. You start the next series of ages with people believing that they're going to be different this time, and ultimately they won't, because people are going to make shitty decisions. Mm-hmm. And that's the choice that like this is all about.
They have the information, but there's a moment to make you
get this brief pause, because the last age ended with the breaking, and this age ends with a pause on pain for just a minute,
which answers the why now.
Yeah,
the why now that I keep asking. Why this turning of the wheel? Because that would have actually made it have some kind of impact.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Moving forward.
Felnet Gaming, thank you for that super chat. I never felt that RJ took the Sanchin to task. Apparently he was going to do in books. Whether that's true or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or whether or not that those books would involve slavery, but not be about that. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what those books were going to be, because they're never going to come out. And that's unfortunate, because I think that I've made a lot of claims across the book club. I've made some strong opinions known. And I've said on a couple of occasions that if the books don't do anything to address the slavery element, it will ruin the series for me, and I won't really come back to it. And they didn't. And it's why, for me, I don't know that I'll read past book 6 again. Honestly, is because there's just so much past that point. There's so much like weird pain and trauma and stuff that I don't want to interact with, that I know now isn't resolved by the books, that I have to headcanon
like even
I
if
have to
Rand,
invent some sort of ending to that.
Even if Rand just told Olivia.
Yeah. Yeah, and so
somebody, one person. Like,
for me, like I don't know how much of the end of this series I'll read again. And Blue says no one knows because there were only like 2 lines about those books were going to be, and neither of those said anything about slavery. Great. So for me, like I think that like ultimately like one of my greatest fears about the end of the series exists and came to fruition, and I'm disappointed in that, and I don't know what I'm going to do with that as I move forward with the series, but I don't hate it. I really don't like the ending. But I love the journey. Oh, I hate the epilogue. I don't hate the series. I think that at some point I said that like if it doesn't resolve the series, I'll just hate the whole series. I don't. There's still too many highs. I will never forget the feeling of the Battle of Emond's Field. I won't. It's like one of my favorite chapters in anything ever.
And Ruidian.
Ruidian is amazing.
Yeah.
And like
that's the moment that I always go back to.
What's weird to me is that in a series that has elements like that, like the epilogue should have been someone going through Ruidian at the end of the next age. That's what the epilogue should have been. Is someone experiencing the next stage backwards to this moment.
That would have been fucking
and realizing
sick.
That like they are the dragon reborn, because it's like it is the dragon of the next age. The epilogue should have been the dragon of the next age experiencing the 4th age, going back in time until at the very end you realize that Rand survived because his ancestor was Rand.
Yeah. And you watch Rand learning that lesson from the Dark One, and then that person who goes through Rudy and being able to like put that message out into the world.
Yeah, fuck, that would have been cool.
That would have been really cool.
There's so many cool like fantasy things in this, and instead of getting one of the fantasy things from it, we end with him getting a new power for that like that isn't his journey. He just gets a new power.
Yeah.
And that's weird. That's weird to me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that would have been a really cool way to tie in one of the highest highs of the series, which I think that a lot of people agree on, at least from what I have seen in conversation. Yeah. A lot of people love the Ruidian stuff. And, like, you know, that is original Robert Jordan, right? Yeah. That, like, going back and, like, seeing how like, the ages coming and going and the lessons that are learned from that, which is really it's really kind of interesting that, like, not everybody goes through Ruidian, because you would think that for the people who are maybe not the most capable or not the smartest, they would have the most to gain from that. But it is only the most capable people with a certain amount of promise that are allowed the privilege to learn from those experiences.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
It is ultimately like the choice of the last battle ultimately comes down to the son of a queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know. I do like it. I do like the series. I just This was a weird ending, and I thought I kind of bought the Kool-Aid that everyone said that, like, oh, the ending is so great that the whole thing is worth it, even the slog. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Lanfear's Bow. My son pleaded with me not to read the epilogue. He said he was afraid that I would burn the book.
I think we would get along with your son.
I would never burn a book.
No.
Unless I was really cold. Well, no, I would actually. That's a lie. If I was
cold, yeah.
I mostly read on my Kindle anyway, so. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how to end the book club. It's weird. This one was weird.
We knew it would be weird.
I know. Do you feel like we did a good job?
Yeah, we fucking crushed it. You know what? Right. We crushed it.
Guys, if Clarus is happy, I'm happy. Because that's all. You're all that matters to me. I'm never going to walk away from you.
Oh, thank you. Even if I get pregnant with quadruplets. Because I give you permission.
I would have some questions.
You know what?
I'd have to be like, how?
Yeah, no, fair.
Although I have brothers who are twins, so. Or siblings who are twins.
Yeah. Isn't that genetic on the women's side, though?
I have no idea.
I thought it doesn't. You know what? I don't fucking know. It doesn't matter. Yeah. This has been crazy, y'all. Thank you for this incredible journey. We're gonna celebrate next week because we're gonna answer your questions. We're gonna talk about like the things that we love, like the moments of the series. Oh, okay. Are we drinking next week?
Should we just get absolutely hammered?
Should we get shit faced? What do we have to do next Friday? Nothing. We don't have anything.
Just like
or should we get so high?
Ooh,
no, because then I'll just be like, I can't.
No, and I can't drink, girls. I would have to do it at the end because
you can get high and I'll get drunk.
That'd be fun. Clarice gets drunk and I get high, and we really let you know how we feel about the Wheel of Time.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Can be the father side. I'm a fraternal twin, and my dad's bio mom is also a fraternal twin. Interesting.
Okay.
I'm here for shitface nerdy. I can't get shitfaced anymore, guys. I'm sorry.
He gets sick. Alcohol
it makes me sick, and then I would just end up not here.
Cooperate. I don't know if you guys look. Discord is open. If you guys are like, do this for book club next week, we're kind of open to it. You know, I want next week to be a hell of a time. It's gonna be a crazy celebration because we have finished 1 billion fucking words. I don't know how many, and
4 million.
15 books of the Wheel of Time, and like that. That is an accomplishment, and y'all have been here for that, and it's been an incredible journey, and we appreciate you for being here for it. And so with that being said, I think it's time for high-low.
Huh. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this is how my family figured out how to be a blended family when I was growing up. After my parents got married, we sat around the dinner table, we celebrated each other's highs, and we commiserated over each other's lows, which we do here now to try and bring us closer together as a family. And there have been some bumps in the road, just like there were for my family, like the time that my parents thought that I stole my sister's laptop. And I adamantly denied it. And so when I was at the movie theater working later that night, they showed up with a box of chocolates because it had turned up and it wasn't me. And they felt really bad because they like spent all day blaming me. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. I didn't steal the laptop. And so I
Everybody
got chocolate.
makes mistakes.
Yeah. Never quite forgave my parents for that one. The way we do this is Clara starts with her high, I do my low, she does her low, and I do my high so that we can complement sandwich this biche. We will do our highs and lows. We'll do multiple highs and lows next week. But we'll do high and low just for this reading. Clarus, I already know what your high is, but say it.
Everybody knows what my high is, and I think that Logain actually has a full and complete arc here. A journey that is interesting and bumpy, it's so good. I wept. Yeah. I wept for Logain, and I wept for what that meant for him as a character, but I also wept because of what that meant for the world.
Yeah.
Right? You know, like Matt and Perrin and Rand leave the Two Rivers 14 books ago thinking that the worst thing you can possibly be is a male who can channel. Mm-hmm. And that is no longer true. And it's beautiful, and I fucking love it, and it is, it's peak. It's peak of this series, and peak of this book, and that is my high.
I am so excited to watch that actor play that scene.
Yes.
Because the actor they cast as Logain on the show is so fucking good.
Yes.
He's so, I adore him, and I think he's going to nail this part all the way through.
I agree.
I honestly wonder if they'll add him in more in the middle so that he doesn't disappear as much. Just because he's so solid.
Well, we asked for more stuff at the Black Tower, and I think that the show could really fix that.
Yeah. You wept for his salvation, yeah.
I did.
It's my favorite. I'll have a different high because you took that one, but it is I think the best moment at the end of these books. Because it is the most complete and natural character arc.
Yeah. Like
Perrin's close, but Perrin's arc doesn't end coming to terms with his place in the world, and I find that
he's a king now, and
he's
that's
a king.
Never
he's
addressed.
I wish that we got something about where he fits into everything now.
Yeah.
I will say my low is the epilogue. I don't know what else is it. It's the epilogue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mega K Wags, thank you so much.
For that
Have loved watching
chat.
you guys do this. Excited to read Aragon with you, first time reader. Let's go,
Yay!
first time reader.
I'm so excited. It's going to be so hard for me to not spoil people when we go through book clubs.
Oh, because you're going to want to talk about where things go.
Because I have read the whole thing. You've read the whole thing.
It's going to be hard to talk about a book where we can't, it'll be the only time we probably do this where we can't, guess
theorize.
at the future.
Yeah. It's going to be like a different book club, but it's honestly, guys, I am so excited.
You love those books.
I love those
and I
books
remember
so
liking them, but I haven't read them since high school.
Much. And not because I think that those books are perfect. I'm really excited to go back and experience that journey again as an adult because I read them as Paolini was growing up, and he, like, his writing grows with the story and with him, and it's really, really special experience that I cannot wait to share with you guys.
We're at 3.5 hours.
Yeah,
So what was your low for this book?
For
this section?
Yeah. My low. I'm going to try and pick something that is not open to interpretation. Like, some people are like, oh, yeah, Rand comes back, totally. And if you believe that, like, I'm happy.
Oh, I didn't say my theory.
Well, oh, your theory. What is it? Yeah.
The reason why Rand is so weird in the epilogue is because it's Moradin. And he's just so fucking crazy because of the true power. And that's why he has the saw in the eye, is that it actually is Moradin. He's just crazy and thinks that he is Rand now.
That would be wild.
Yeah, and it's like a mixture of the two of them, but it's not really either, and that's why he doesn't know about his kids.
It's why the bond is, like, there, like, they can still feel it, but he's, like, become one person.
Yeah, it's actually like that Moradin, he is Moradin now.
Rand was the creator, and Moradin was the Dark One, and they have now merged into omnipresent being.
It's like when Goku and Vegeta merge.
Vegeta? Okay.
Yeah, into Gogeta.
Okay.
Or when Gohan and Trunks
Gogeta sounds like a cheese.
Merge. They like boop and then they become one person. It's like that, but it's Morandin.
Morandin.
Yes.
Morandin.
In the end, it's really Morandin.
It's Morandin. It was Morandin all along, guys.
It's open to interpretation because nothing's really there. So you can. It's as true as any other theory.
Yeah. Okay, I think...
The Wheel of Time is the ultimate headcanon series. Because it does have an ending, but there's ultimately, like, no real ending. So you can kind of just make up whatever you want.
Yeah, that's why, like, I'm going to try and pick a low that is not open to interpretation, that is, like, literally black and white. And it is that Cat Swain becomes the Amerlin.
Isn't Morandin Morandian? That is so funny.
Morandian.
His name, his full legal name is Morandin Morandian, guys.
Oh, man, I hate that. Yeah. So Cat Swain, I think, becoming the Amerlin is going to be my low because it's, like, indisputable. It is something that actually happens. There's no, like...
Wait, what were you saying? Sorry.
My low is just that Cat Swain becomes the Amerlin because it's not open to interpretation. It is kind of... It happens.
Yeah, she's going to do everything wrong that Egwene built. And Egwene did so much for the White Tower, and, like, Egwene's arc is so good, and to have it just, like, be, like, fucking unraveled by Cat Swain in the epilogue sucks.
Yeah, what's your high?
My high... I mean, Logain is the high. I think it's the high of the book, right? I think it's the best moment in the whole book. I think that my high... I really love the... It's tough. It's between... Oh, yeah, Pad Fane's a low.
Okay, true. But here's the thing. Pad Fane is definitely a low, but the moment with Matt kind of redeems it as not being the lowest of the low.
That's true. I'm going to say it's tough for me between Avienda losing her feet to take out Grendel, which I think is a really wonderful thematic, like, she actually sacrifices something in this fight, which so few of our main characters really do.
Yeah.
People come close to sacrificing or are at the risk of sacrificing, but they don't actually sacrifice anything. I mean, even Rand gets his other hand back. Like, Rand comes back more full. Like, he has no side. Rand is
He's
fixed.
healed.
Yeah.
He's totally
So,
good.
I don't know. I think like, either, like, I love Avienda losing her feet to take out Grendel. I think that there's something so thematically interesting about her finally giving up being a maiden in that.
Yeah.
Because she literally can't anymore, and there's just something there. Hinderstap. Oh, the fucking use of Hinderstap, that's so good. The going to the steading, so good.
Yeah.
Androl and Pavar using the steading as a weapon. Like, those three moments are all so fucking good.
Yeah. There's
but Logain is.
There's a lot of incredible moments, and thank you for sharing this incredible journey with us, y'all.
Philip says, I can't really say Fane is a low since I didn't really expect him to have a satisfying ending at this point anyway. I wanted him to so bad.
Yep.
Because there was a point where I was like, I want more Fane because he's the best villain.
Yeah.
And like he just kind of became insane.
Yep.
Portal cannons were dope. They definitely were dope.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't get me as good as Hinderstap did though.
Yeah.
The reveal of Hinderstap, when I realized it for myself, I was like, fuck, this is cool.
Yeah.
If you like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Leave mean comments down below because the algorithm god is hungry and we must feed her. This episode, the algorithm goddess is...
fucking... Moraine, we don't get to see her. She's hungry for some resolution.
You know that's not happening in the show. Rosamund Pike is going to be all over that finale.
Oh, no.
If you want to follow us around the internet, you can. I'm at nerdynightly.
I'm at Claris Polaris.
Do something smutty right now.
Right now. Smut corner. Guys.
What is the sex scene at the end of the book that's missing?
Pavara becomes the Amerlin seat.
Okay.
And it's just a White Tower, Black Tower orgy.
Woo!
And
I love it.
They all get to know one another. They figure out who they want to bond because they know that they sexually they're compatible.
Oh my god, that's how they choose how to bond people.
What are your kinks?
Is based on
Yeah. What do you like? Like, can we make this work? Do we have the same like worldviews? Do we want the same things from our lives?
Do
we like to take it in the ass? That is like very, very important questions for a relationship.
You know, all the Reds end up with boys who like to get pegged.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah. That's why they're there. You know what I mean? All the Browns are actually the kinkiest because they've done all the research on all the kinks.
I think that here's the actual truth about society. This war would result in the greatest baby boom in the history of mankind.
Babies everywhere.
Amount of boning that is about to go down.
And magic babies,
Hi,
too.
Dusty Wheel. Welcome in.
Hi, you made it just in time for Smut Corner. We're talking about who fucks after the end of this book.
It's our final segment.
This is everybody. The finale.
Everyone, because the population will be so depleted. Everybody's fucking after this.
They need some babies.
Oh my god! Like because it's gonna be like the end of World War II. Like there's gonna be a whole generation that are the post last battle kids.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be wild.
Yeah. And people would be like, "Oh, channeling ain't such a bad thing. I want to make some babies to see if they're magic."
Yeah, that's the way we did finish it. We've read all the books.
We did it. We made it. We've survived.
We have a stream of yours that we need to watch.
Oh yes, yes.
To find out the Lanfear reveal.
Yes. Yeah. I had no idea what this is. Smut Corner, we save it for the very, very, very end.
Dusty Wheel coming in saying he never watches to the end. Wow. Wow, Innkeeper.
It's fine. A lot of people don't. A lot of people leave before Smut Corner, and it's fine. I understand. But we are perverted. So,
Professionally
perverted. Yeah, sure, I guess. I don't know if I like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Innkeeper, there's so many things I want to talk about.
Everyone's
about with you.
Having baby. Yeah. Some conversations.
Yeah. I gotta watch your stream. I need to know what
Wheel of Time
Brandon Sanderson. Clarus is now depressed.
Yeah.
I'm okay because it's football season, so I have things to do on Thursdays, Sundays, and Mondays.
Fair.
But Clarus has depression now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's having the best sex after the last battle? I think that's what we should end on.
Who is having the best sex?
Which couple is having the best sex after the last battle?
Well, I think like Perrin thinking he's lost Fail and then not having lost her. That definitely like brings up some emotions, you know? Like they're fucking hard. I don't know if it's the best sex. Well, actually, no. Fail will tell him what she wants.
Berlain.
Galad Berlain, good one.
I think they're fucking
yet, right?
Yeah, and Berlain is a pro.
Yeah, she's a pro. She knows exactly what she's doing.
Leanne and whoever Leanne fucks.
Oh no, it's obviously Pavar and Androl because they have the bonds to one another. So they are literally having the best sex, hands down. Like they're bonded to one another. There's nothing. You can't compete with that. Found Night Gaming, thank you for that super chat.
I don't know if Atlanta and Nynaeve are having the best sex, but Nynaeve is going to be pregnant so fast.
100%. If RJ wrote it, Rand would have never-ending orgies with his harem. In an igloo, of course. Yes.
I think that's where we're going to end it. Rand should be having never-ending orgies with his harem, and maybe he should be a better dad and show up for his kids. That's the Nerdy Wordy Book Club. The penultimate episode of our coverage of the Wheel of Time. We'll be back next week with the full series recap.
The
full series recap of the Wheel of Time before we take a couple of weeks off and start Aragon.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us for the last year, for the last 21 weeks of the Wheel of Time with us.
It's been a wild one.
The strike is going to come to an end soon, and we will start covering the show, get ready. We're going to do reactions. I also want to do some live streams about it. So when the strike ends, get ready for that. If you think we're done talking about the Wheel of Time on this channel, we are not. Yeah. Secrets of the Trolloc Wars coming next year on this channel. I'm very excited for it. That's going to be the title. And I hope that you are all ready to come back in a few months' time for the Secrets of the Trolloc Wars, our TTRPG game that will star Claris Polaris and some other people. That's going to be fun. Officially, and welcome back to the Nerd Table, and please smash that like button. All right, rock, paper, scissors to see what the next series is after Inheritance. What are the choices? Cosmere. And? Expanse. Okay, is it best out of 3? Okay, wait. Dusty Wheel, thank you for that super chat. Thank you so much. Congrats. Don't rush in without me. Let's make a schedule or something. Yeah, let's talk. Absolutely. We wait for this very moment. Dude, I want to talk to you. We'll do some content. Yeah, there are like thoughts. We're going to have some very cool conversations, I think. I'm so excited. What should we make the other series where rock, paper, scissoring for? I thought it was Expanse and Cosmere. I like the two. I don't know how we would do Expanse though. Because it's 9 books, but like we're... Okay, so then is it Cosmere or Mistborn? Is that what we're doing? Aren't those the same thing? I thought Mistborn was the start of Cosmere. Way of Kings? Malazan? I Way of Kings isn't done, right? I haven't looked into any of these things. Mistborn is Cosmere. All right, rock, paper, scissors. Dresden Files. How many books is Dresden Files? I have no idea. We're signing up for something. Okay. Wait, who's who, though? We have to decide who's who. Doesn't matter. Just do it. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. What are you doing? What is wrong with you? It's rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Where does the shoot come from? Because you don't do it on scissors. Who is shooting? Scissors is 2 syllables. So? Which syllable do you go? It's rock, paper, scissors, shoot. One, obviously. How do you not know how to play rock, paper, scissors? I know exactly how to play rock, paper, scissors. You say the 3 options, and then you do the thing. Why? Why would you do the thing on the 3rd option? Because you go on 3. 1, 2, 3. No, it's rock, paper, scissors, shoot. What are you shooting? The thing you're choosing. Is gun an option? No. Okay, I choose gun then. Absolutely not. Shoot. Absolutely fucking not. No, it is rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Unless you're playing rock, paper, scissors, Who are Lizard, we shooting? Spock. Well, we're not. I didn't do Spock. We did scissors. God. It's rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay, let's do this again. Before we do this one more time. You're wrong. Glenn Peterson, thank you. My 3 favorite things about Wheel of Time. Thank you. 1, Perrin's letter to Fail in the Shadow Rising 2. Great. Oh, yeah. 2, Egwene's final message to Rand in A Memory of Light. Great choice. 3, the community guys have helped build with fandom. Let's fucking go, community. Let's fucking go. Okay. Yeah. No one has ever heard shoot. Fell Knight Gaming says, in this moment, Nerdy proves his competitiveness. But she's also having fun. This is why it's good for our relationship. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Let's go. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. What is that? Spock! This is Spock! No, it's this. Why would Spock be a wolf? Because you throw your opponent off guard with new rules, and so they can't dispute them because you take the chessboard and you flip it over. No one has ever heard of shoot. What is wrong with you? It's Wolf Brother. What is happening? Should we just say it? Should we just say what the next series is on 3 together? I don't know what it is. Together at the same time. Coming this December to the Nerdy Wordy Book Club, we will be covering 3, 2, 1. Harry Potter. Not in a million fucking years. Absolutely never. Fuck you, J.K. Rowling. Get fucked. Oh my god. That's super chat. Blue says we could do Expanse the same way you're doing Aragon. 1 week or so for the first 6 books, and then transfer to multiple weeks for books 7 and 9. That would be a little bit... We would get it done a little bit faster, because that would take us 6 weeks plus. So we get that done in probably 4 months, and then we could start Cosmere. Or we can do Cosmere first. I'm Cosmere, you're Expanse, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Let's go. Okay. Best out of 3? Or all right. One and done. One and done. Yeah. Okay, so if I win, we're doing Cosmere, and if you win, we're doing the Expanse. Sure. But we're covering the first 6 books quicker. Okay. All right. Aragon. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. We're doing Cosmere because of rock, paper, scissors. Starting in... probably the first week of December-ish. We'll be covering the Cosmere as our next series.
Great.
Because of Rock, Paper, Scissors.
Love that for us.
So we'll be starting with the Mistborn trilogy starting in December.
God damn it.
Get ready, kids. It's coming.
Sorry, Blue. I tried. Sokar, thank you for that super chat.
We'll cover Expanse at some point.
Should exist. No, you're wrong. No! Get out of here! I can't believe that we did that on a fucking Rock, Paper, Scissors. I'm sorry, Sean.
Birthday book. Whose birthday is it? Is it yours, James Ross?
Whoever's birthday it is, happy fucking birthday.
Happy birthday to ya. It's the end of the podcast right now. Cosmere in December. Cosmere starts in December.